Thank you and welcome to the Classic City, Athens, Georgia, where the presumptive #1 pick in the Major League Draft, Charlie Condon and his Georgia Bulldogs, going against an NC State team led by Alec Makarevich, with both teams with their eyes on one single prize, a trip to Omaha in the Men's College World Series. It is a final super regional of this great NCAA tournament. We're down to just 2 teams. Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Folks on Kudzu Hill are ready to rock. They have their libations, and we got a great baseball game for you. Number 10 national seed NC State, number 7 seed Georgia, in what has been a pendulum swinging series to this point. Extremes at both ends. Now, only one spot left for that trip to Omaha. It will be, for the first time ever, only a 2-conference field for a field of 8. And with a Georgia win, that would mean a record 5 teams from the SEC. Florida is the only non-national seed to make it to Omaha, and they will be the only non-national seed. 2 blowouts in this one. North Carolina State came out hot, 11 in the second inning in game number 1. They homered 5 times in this bandbox of a ballpark in an 18-1 final. Game 2, Georgia, redemption. 11-2 was the final. They hit 4 home runs, but they still haven't gotten one from Charlie Condon. And with that, we welcome you to Athens. Tom Hart alongside College Baseball Hall of Famer Ben McDonald. If you're new to college baseball, welcome to this beautiful sport. You get to see tonight one of the best players putting up numbers like we've never seen in college baseball. Charlie Condon leads the nation in batting average, in home runs. That's only been done twice before, and he seems to do it with ease.
Yeah, and think about this. 2 years ago, he couldn't even get a uniform. He couldn't even be on the team. He's going that from hitting 36 home runs this year, which is a BB Corbett record, to probably going to be the #1 pick in the country.
Well, they need more of Charlie Condon. He is only 1 for 7 over the course of the Super Regional, but he did get some help yesterday because, Ben, this is a Georgia team in this ballpark that is second in the country in home runs. 70% of their long balls come here at home. It's a huge advantage.
And they've hit 149 of them, and Slade Alford got the party started yesterday. Georgia needed to get out front, and they did yesterday. And then the freshman DH, Trey Phelps, 3rd inning, a bomb to straightaway center field. How about over the batter's eye? The Dogs were up 5-0, man, and they would not look back after that.
Oddly enough for North Carolina State, yesterday's blowout was a bit of a blessing in disguise. You see, they have 3 premier arms in the bullpen, and they haven't had to use any of them yet. So they come into this decisive Game 3 fully stocked.
Yeah, and the starter, Logan Whitaker, he's going to get the start today, and he was outstanding for NC State in Game 3 of their Raleigh Regional. 6 innings of work. He only gave up 2 runs, walked 2, and struck out 6. So the recipe for success is have Logan Whitaker give you 4 or 5 good innings, have the lead, and then turn it over to Jacob Duden and Derek Smith at the back end of that bullpen. The freshman and sophomore have been outstanding in the postseason. 7 1/3 combined, only 3 hits, 1 run, and how about this number? 16 strikeouts and only 1 walk for those 2 guys in the NCAA tournament.
Of note, in this small ballpark, no wind as of right now pre-first pitch. Allen Avent in his 28th season at NC State, looking for his 3rd trip to Omaha. Wes Johnson in his 1st season at Georgia, looking to return to the promised land. Capacity crowd on a perfect evening for baseball. NC State and Georgia with a temperature in the low 80s as the sun begins to set on the Classic City. And one game to decide who makes it to the Men's College World Series. Zach Harris, a part-time reliever, named a starter late in the season, gets the ball for the Dogs. His first season as a Georgia Bulldog, 5-1 with a 6.69 ERA.
Yeah, he's heavy on the fastball. He'll use it about 61% of the time, and he's got a big arm. Fastball is going to average 95. You could see a 7 or 8 out of him. But for me, against a really good hitting North Carolina State team, he better get those off-speed pitches going. And I tell you what, his changeup has been solid this year. I look for him to use that a lot against the lefties.
This NC State lineup was very average throughout the course of the season. They really turned it up late in the year, and they come in here on a heater. They lead off with a 6'5" center fielder, Eli Serrano III. And the first pitch is just a hair low to Serrano, who is 3 for 10 through 2 games here in the Athens Super Regional.
Yeah, he's every bit of 6'5". Man, you were talking to him before the game.
He was on the Raleigh regional team. He's a Raleigh area native at a Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, and the pitch falls low and away on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 2-0. What are the nerves like for Zach Harris in this game?
A lot. There's a lot of nerves right now, and there always is. I mean, the first time you step on the bump, you get a little bit of nerves warming up, but you can't create that adrenaline flow you get when the game starts. All these players know what's on the line right here. So everybody's hoping to get off to a good start. If you're Zach Harris, you're just trying to fill it up early.
They worked all season, starting in February, playing games to get to this moment. And the last two standing before Omaha, with 7 having already punched their ticket. 2-1 now to Serrano. Played at Pro 5 Baseball Academy, finishing up his high school career. His dad was a great player at Stetson and was a draft pick of the Giants in '98. And a 2-1 pitch is rocketed high to right field. Goldstein at the track, at the wall. It's off the top of the fence. Serrano motors into second, standing up. That hit off the very top of the wall and somehow stayed in this ballpark, which plays like a Homer Dome even when the wind isn't blowing out, as is the case tonight.
Man, that looked just like a fly ball. Just a fly ball off the bat is what it was, but it continued to carry out toward right center field. Goes up top shelf and gets a fastball underneath it just a little bit. And I think Serrano thought he had this one. I thought he looked like he's got that one, because I thought he could end up at third. And there's the effort out in right field by Goldstein. Hits off the wall, off the glove. A good start for NC State.
Well, Harris has been susceptible to the long ball. He has allowed 4 home runs in the last 3 games. Leadoff double, and now Garrett Pennington at the plate for North Carolina State. Pennington's had quite a baseball career already. He was a Division II All-American at the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg, Missouri. He's a Kansas City native, grew up a big Royals fan. Even played for a Division II national championship with the Mules of Central Missouri, then went to Wichita State for a year before jumping over to North Carolina State. Got underneath that one and sent it to Dylan Carter in center. 1 down.
Now, Zach Harris, 2 different fastballs for him. He's going to sink it from time to time, but he'll throw a little bit of 4-seamer as well. So he'll sink it down, 4-seamer up, and he's going to show you a slider, change-up, and a curveball as well. He
might need all of them against his switch-hitting Alec Makarevich, 23-year-old, transferred in from East Carolina. He leads all divisions in games played. This guy has been around a long time. OPS over 1,100. Spent 4 years playing for the Pirates. And he can hit the ball a long way. First pitch up and away.
Yes, he can. Matter of fact, he's only the 9th NC State player to have 20 or more home runs in a season.
Top 10 in every major category in the Atlantic Coast Conference for Makarevich. At a Lake Brantley High School in Florida, and he rolls over this one to Slade Alford. 2 down, but it gets Serrano to third. I don't know if just moving him over, moving him is going to do it tonight. What do you think final run total is going to be for the winner?
Well, based off of what we saw the first 2 days, and there's not much wind at all, but we know the ball really jumps here at this ballpark. So I'm thinking, to be safe, I'm going to say 7 runs or more is what it's going to take to win it.
Jacob Kozart at the plate. He's one of the top catching prospects in this summer's draft. Comes from a baseball family. His dad was a longtime coach at High Point in North Carolina. Kozart was a bullpen catcher for them at just 13 years old. And the first offering misses away.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about his catching, and he's outstanding. But I tell you what, he's done it on both sides of the ball. 3 home runs in 2 games so far in this Super Regional.
He's a Buster Posey Award finalist as the best catcher in college baseball. One of 3. Walker Janik from Sam Houston, and Cal Poly's Ryan Stafford, the other 2.
Ooh, there it is. That's the changeup. And that's the one, I think, for me, the most important one for Harris. He's got to get that going against the left-handers. He's had a lot of success with this year. 74% swing and miss on that changeup. College average about 33%.
Harris is from just down the road in Milton, Georgia. He spent his first year pitching at Georgia Southern. And a ground ball to the right side with a shift on. Kobe Branch handles it, and the leadoff double does no damage. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Georgia's potent offense coming to the plate after that 11-pitch frame by Harris. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, they have had all day to get ready for this one here in Athens, and this crowd has not disappointed. Logan Whitaker gets the ball in his hand for North Carolina State. He's a 6'6" right-hander out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Comes in 3-1 with a 6.23 ERA. Numbers might be a little misleading. He was great last week in the regional.
Yeah, I tell you what, don't pay attention to that ERA. His last time out, and that was in Game 3 of the Raleigh Regional. He was outstanding against James Madison. 6 innings of work, only allowed 2 runs, struck out 6. Pretty good fastball. He'll take up to 94. It's a real 4-pitch mix. He's going to use the fastball, changeup, slider, and curveball. He'll use them all just about equally.
Here's a look at the batting order for the Georgia Bulldogs, second in the nation in home runs. They're also 10th in the country in walks. They're 5th in the country in hit by pitch. They're 3rd in slugging, and all of that adds up to better than 9 runs a game. The 4th highest scoring offense in the country, and they lead off with Corey Collins, a guy who gets on base 58% of the time, leading the nation in OBP.
He is a table setter. Might be the only leadoff guy in the country that doesn't have a stolen base, but he's not in it to steal bases. Georgia don't steal many of them. They don't need to. They just blow it out of the ballpark.
Collins 6'3", 236, a senior from Suwanee, Georgia, just down the road. Shows bunt and didn't go. Aaron Hyman down the third base line.
Collins tried this the other day because the shift is on big time right now. You see the third baseman, Makarevich, he's playing well over at the shortstop position.
1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. By the way, if you want to watch a great catcher, we mentioned this when he was at the plate. Jacob Cozart has dropped down to one knee. That has allowed him to steal more strikes than most catchers in the game. He is the 5th best defensive run saved catcher, and most of those runs saved come from his pitch framing skills.
Yeah, if you'll watch him, see where the glove is, and he'll drop it to the ground. He'll work from the bottom up, and that's what catchers are taught to do these days. They want to work from the bottom up. They feel like they can steal more strikes. And a really good start for Whitaker right here. Looked like that good changeup just takes a little bit off and paints it right to the outside part of the plate.
So now Charlie Condon. The numbers really defy all expectations for sure. He was a preferred walk-on, didn't have a scholarship, and redshirted his first year. Forget about NIL money. He didn't get scholarship money when he first showed up from the Walker School in Marietta. And he lines it to left. Whoa! Stumbling catch made by Luke Nixon.
My goodness. I don't know how Nixon even caught that ball. Did you see where he caught it in his glove? Like, it never went into the webbing. He caught it, and somehow it stuck in the palm of his glove. Just a bullet. Nice and balanced. And you talk about finding the barrel. And watch this ball just kind of like sticks. Look at there, like Velcro.
No padding down there.
Well, pitchers can't use pine tar, but the outfielders can.
At least you don't take it personal. Here's Slade Alford. He homered yesterday for Georgia. And looks at the breaking ball low and away. It was 11 runs on 15 hits for the Dogs yesterday, including 4 home runs, 17th of the year for Alford. That was close. Cozart tried to bring it back. Alford started his college career at Mississippi State, coming out of Bob Jones High School in Madison, Alabama. Caught the edge, 2-1.
Both these pitchers showing you pretty good velocity on their fastball.
2-2. Yeah, you would expect them to be a little pumped up for this one.
Absolutely. And they're doing what you need to do as a starting pitcher. Establish your fastball early. Get your rhythm, get everything going, and the off-speed stuff will come right behind it. It all begins with fastball command.
Alford's a big kid, 6'3", 236. He was a starting quarterback at Bob Jones High School while playing baseball as well. Logan Whitaker's 2-2. What's the secret to good changeup?
Arm speed. You got to sell it. That's the biggest key to it. A lot of young pitchers learning how to throw a changeup. They think, okay, changeup is slower. they slow their arm down. Hitter picks it up. The key to a good changeup is same arm action, same arm speed as your fastball. Make it look exactly the same, and then trust the grip to slow the ball down.
Swing and a miss. He cased 2 in the first inning, needing just 13 pitches to find 3 outs. We have a pitcher's duel on our hand in this ballpark. No score through 1. No score through 1 inning between NC State and Georgia, with a trip to the Men's College World Series on the line. Men's College World Series begins this Friday, and for the 45th consecutive year will air on ESPN. 22nd straight year, every single game on ESPN. The finals then begin Saturday, June 22nd from Omaha. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Shortstop Brandon Butterworth at the plate for NC State. He was on the Raleigh regional team. NC State breezed through that, won all 3 games. Won the first game here in dominant fashion before dropping yesterday afternoon's contest. Into right. Dylan Goldstein puts it away. 1 down. You talk about the nerves from both of these pitchers in the first inning. Do they completely dissipate after you get 3 outs under your belt?
Mostly they dissipate. What helps the nerves more than anything is a few runs. That's what helps the nerves more than anything, to be honest with you, especially in a game like this. Because you know, in a tight ball game, every ball that leaves your hand could be the difference in the ball game sometimes. But when you get that lead, you got a little bit of leadway, and that's when you really start to relax and let your talents take over.
Well, both pitching staffs in each of these games have had an opportunity to pitch with that major lead. An 11-run inning for NC State in game 1 in the second to take control. And Georgia led 10-0 yesterday. Here's Alex Sosa. He's really the only Wolfpack hitter who's been struggling. 1 for 10 this week through 2 games with 4 strikeouts. 94. Right down the chute, 1-1. It's an NC State team that's had to shuffle its lineup multiple times during the course of this season. Players lost to Tommy John. Josh Hogue had a broken leg in an outfield collision. Noah Souls missed a month with an ankle injury. And Sosa missed a month with both mono and the flu.
This NC State team, this program, after what they went through in 2021 in Omaha, they are a resilient program. There's no doubt about that.
2-2.
That's a difference maker right there. And when Harris can throw something other than a fastball and a fastball count, that's pretty much true at any level. When you begin to do that, that's when the game changes for a pitcher. 2-1 count, expecting fastball. He throws that really good changeup in there for a swing and miss to get right back into count.
Miss low and in. Sosa had some freshman struggles. He hit a wall early in the season. He had a skid where he went 0 for 37. Then as the team heated up, so did he. 2 multi-hit games in their sweep of Wake Forest. He homered in 2 of those games. NC State played its best against the best in the ACC late in the year. Foul territory left side, long run for both Condon and Gonzalez, and that one will be in the first row. Condon went sliding into the wall. One of the top prospects in the game. He's got some defensive versatility. He has played all over the field this season for Georgia. First and third in the outfield positions.
Most reps at third, second most reps, believe it or not, out in center field. And that's not a small dude. That's 6'6" moving around out there.
He's essentially playing shortstop right now with the shift on for the left-handed hitting Sosa. And Sosa rips one right at the shortstop branch, looking into the sun. And that turned into a defensive maneuver. Sosa reaches with 1 out. Both of the previous 2 games were played at noon. This one at 7, and setting sun right in the eyes of the infielders.
Yeah, he's got the shades on. You could tell he really couldn't see that ball. And sometimes those line drives, when you hit them perfectly like that, they'll even knuckle on top of that.
So a single for Sosa, and here's Luke Nixon. Remember, Luke's dad, Trot, played for the Red Sox, won the World Series in 2004, ending that 86-year drought. His older brother, Chase, is also on the team. And Luke, freshman from Wilmington out of New Hanover, is having a good weekend here in Athens. 4 hits, including a double.
This is an NC State team that does not typically run a lot. Only 44 stolen bases on the year, so that was 11th best in the ACC. But a very high percentage when they do go. Nixon's 14 for 17, Butterworth's 13 for 14. So a few guys that can go.
Harris has really slowed down pitching from the stretch now. And this one's laced foul into the bleachers. Luke Nixon had been the everyday second baseman early this season, but then after Josh Hogue suffered his broken leg in an outfield collision, they shuffled some guys around. Luke originally moved to right field, then to left after Hogue's injury. Swing and a miss. First base occupied. That'll be good for the first strikeout for Zach Harris. And there are 2 down.
That changeup is dirty right now for Zach Harris. Watch the bottom fall of that thing. Looks just like the fastball out of his hand. Circle change just kind of turns it over. It dive bombs. A little bit left to right. So if you're NC State, you're already seeing what Harris likes to do. Like set up the fastball, and he likes to finish you with the changeup. So the idea and the approach has got to be try to hit the fastball that way to the backside of the field, and then have enough bat left for the off-speed pitch.
Here's the second baseman, Matt Hebner, for NC State. 0-1 to Hebner from Lincolnton, North Carolina. At North Lincoln High School, where he set the school record for hits. Sosa only has 1 attempt and 1 steal on the season. So Harris throws the slider, second most used pitch behind the fastball, which he throws 61% of the time. Are we seeing more changeup than slider in this game?
Yeah, and I think that's because in yesterday's game, the starting pitcher for NC State did a really good job. Let's see. Fritton did for a while. Or starting pitcher for Georgia, I should say, yesterday, Leighton, did a really good job, and changeups were the key for him. Remember, he threw a lot of changeups, and I think Wes Johnson, the pitching coach, and of course the head coach for Georgia, also calls the pitch. He recognized that, and so you're starting to see a few more changeups because they feel like that's the way to attack NC State.
NC State was uber aggressive in game number 1. He used that aggression against him. The 1-2 slider hit to the right side and through the hole. Sosa will stop at second, and NC State gets a 2-out hit from Matt Hebner.
Pretty good piece of hitting right there. Got down in the count. He just kind of sits back enough and gets a breaking ball. Just elevated enough where he can put a barrel on it and punch it through. Just kind of shoves it to the backside of the field. So first and second and 2 out for NC State.
And this is the bottom of the order, and the 9-hole hitter, Noah Souls. Sosa at second, Hebner at first. 2 on and 2 out.
Yeah, Noah Souls in game 1 of this Super Regional had the big game. Sitting in that 9-hole, 2 for 5, drove in 5 runs out of that 9-hole.
And before the second inning was over, he had 2 doubles and 5 ribbies.
That's a pretty good inning.
In that inning, NC State started the frame with 8 consecutive hits. Have you ever seen that before?
Never. And we asked head coach Elliot Avent if he's 36 years of coaching now, have you ever seen the first 8 batters of an inning not reach, but reach by base hit? He said never. And actually the first 10 reach, but the first 8 by base hit.
Here's the pitch to Souls. A fastball over the edge for a strike 1-2. Harris allowed a leadoff double in the first, but then retired the next 3, flirting with a little bit more trouble here in the second in a scoreless game. High but shallow center field for Dylan Carter. And he hauls it in. NC State strands a pair in the second. Pack has already left 3 on. No score. Harry Dogg's a big baseball fan, but right now his Georgia team looking for its first hit. Zeros as we head to the home half of the second. They got them jammed into Kudzu Hill. Shirts are optional up there. Just have a red Solo cup and you'll fit in just fine. Georgia's offense among the best in the country. They scored 9 runs a game thanks to the slugging and the ability to get on base, either by hit by pitch or walk. And it's quite a turnaround from last season as Dylan Goldstein stands in. Go figure, you go hire a guy who was a pitching coach through his entire career to be your new head coach, and the offense gets better.
Figure that one out. Also, 17 new faces on this Georgia roster, too.
In for a strike to Goldstein, the right fielder 0 for 3 through the Super Regional weekend.
Boy, that is so rare to go get 17 new faces, and they seem to all blend in.
Goldstein, one of them. He came over from Florida Atlantic. 2 seasons there with second team Conference USA for each of the last 2 years. But Kozart really smooth with the glove, couldn't get that call. 2-2. Goldstein went to high school, North Broward Prep. Same school that produced Ariana Grande. Do you have 4-octave range?
Do I have what?
4-octave range. Are you a great singer? Can you get
4 octave?
You got 4 pitches.
I got 1 pitch.
This ball's rocketed foul.
Used to have about 4 pitches. It was a fastball, curveball, cutter, forkball. I don't know about no 4-octave range, whatever that is.
What do you got now?
Right now it's just it's a changeup. That's all I got. Just a changeup.
Georgia's got its first base runner. On a walk to Dylan Goldstein, and it brings freshman Trey Phelps to the plate. He only has 1 hit in the Super Regional, but man, was it a big one?
Yeah, I'm talking about lean back on one. Just a freshman. Boy, he got himself in a plus count and got a heater right down the middle. How about that swing? Lean back on one, young man. Not over the fence, but over the batter's eye.
And the dunk celebration went 416 feet, 107 off the bat for the freshman DH. And Logan Whitaker having a hard time finding the strike zone now, 1-0. OPS over 1,100 for the freshman, who's hitting .344. Double-digit home runs. He was talking earlier this season about his style and adjusting to the college game. And he said the older guys tell me things can be going great or going terrible, but just be yourself, be authentic, and the game will come easier to you. And he sends it down the line, tailing foul, and it is home run distance, but pushed foul.
Yeah, for a freshman, though, he has got some bat speed, too. We saw it yesterday. He can get that aluminum through the zone.
He was rated the number 2 third baseman in the country coming out of high school in Kennesaw. Takes a curveball to straightaway center field. Serrano to the fence. This one is over the wall and gone. Phelps has done it again. Georgia strikes first on the second home run in as many games for the freshman Trey Phelps.
That's what you call pitch recognition right there, folks. He saw this breaking ball pop out of the hand of Whitaker, and it just popped up enough, and he recognized and watch him. Right there, he knew what it was. And you talk about put a barrel on one. There's 216 stitches on a baseball, and I think he got every one of them on that swing right there.
Home crowd is riled up now with Dylan Carter standing in. Up and in, 1-1. Dylan Carter's from Flower Mound, Texas, out of Argyle High School. Transferred in from Texas Tech. We had plenty of postseason experience. A couple of regionals and a super with Tim Tadlock's team. And in football crazy Texas, he wasn't just limited to the diamond. He was also an all-state tight end at 6'1", 222. And he goes down looking. Third strikeout for Logan Whitaker, one down.
Boy, Cozart, the catcher for NC State, he might have stole that one right there. We've talked a lot, one of the best defensive catchers in the entire country. That ball might have been a little bit off the outside edge, but those hands are so quick, and he pulled that ball quickly back over the outside edge, picks up a strikeout looking.
One of the things we talked about with Jacob before the game today is he just went to the new stance, dropping one leg out. First pitch strike to his counterpart, Fernando Gonzalez. Said it took him a little while to get used to it, but he's confident that what he doesn't sacrifice. And we've already seen it this series. He's still able to block balls in the dirt and keep his chest even so they don't come off at funny angles. He gave us a full demonstration today before batting practice.
And that's the key to it. You know, I love the idea of doing that because you're working from the bottom up, you're stealing a few pitches, but can you still block some balls when you need to? And he's athletic enough to do it.
Butterworth with the pick, 2 down.
The only thing I don't like about the new stance and the new way that catchers catch now is the target is there for the pitcher. But if you'll watch, when the pitcher winds up and he gets ready to come down the slope, let the ball go, the catcher drops the glove. So now as a pitcher, I don't have anything to throw to. As a pitcher, I want to see the target all the time. I want to see where you want it. But you watch these catchers now, the glove will go up, and as the pitcher comes down the slope, he drops it to work from the bottom up. So he's got it there, he'll drop it, and then it comes back up. That's what everybody's doing now. Now, some pitchers don't mind it because I want to be able to see the glove, not just the glove. When I'm on my game, I'm picking up a piece of the glove that I'm trying to throw to. And sometimes when I don't get that target, it's tough.
Clayton Chadwick at the plate. His first plate appearance. 0-1 is up and in. How specific was your sight line to the glove?
I mean, to me, it was key because, catchers didn't do that, but I wanted to see your glove the whole time. That's what was key for me. All until I let the ball go. I want to know exactly where you want it.
The laces, if he had long laces coming off the glove?
I was picking even a smaller spot than that. I always think if you think small, you miss small. If you think big, you miss big. So I was actually picking up the center part of the mitt, and that's what I was trying to throw to.
Could use you on the driving range. Little dribbler back to the mound. Whitaker with the underhand toss to finish the frame, but not before freshman Trey Phelps made this one sing.
Yeah, do it, kid. This is how you want to get the party started right here. Make it 150 home runs on the year for the Dogs, and they have an early lead in this one.
Eli Serrano doubled to start this game, but Ben, you saw him come out of the box, thought it could have been more.
Yeah, I think he thought he got this ball for a home run, and if you watch him right here, when he makes contact, he thinks he's got a home run right there. He's not running real hard. He thinks the ball's over the fence. And right about the time he touches first base, he realizes it's not going to leave the yard. He only ends up at second base. For me, if he's running hard out of the box, he ends up at third base. And what's important with that is the next guy flew out to deep center field. NC State would have a run right now, but instead he was stranded at second base.
The margin of error in this game and in games like this, where one play can make the difference in going to the College World Series or heading to summer ball, is a huge.
This is a time of year you take nothing for granted. You run everything out, you bust it out of the box, you do everything right that you've ever been taught to do. Because you're right, the margin of victory in some of these games, and we've seen it so far in this NCAA tournament, these super regional, The margin of victory is so slim sometimes.
Saw it last night. Kentucky knocked off Oregon State to advance to its first ever College World Series with the winning run scoring on a wild pitch from second base. Nolan McCarthy came screaming around third, ignored his head coach's stop sign, and just went. And the pitcher was late to cover the plate. Kentucky is headed to Omaha, and Oregon State is headed home. Here's the 2-1 to Serrano.
Harris again. Fastball count using something other than fastball. And boy, he's been a good athlete. At Cambridge High School in Middleton, Georgia. Two-way star. Football player, was a quarterback, was Harris. Matter of fact, he finished top 25 all time in the state of Georgia for passing yards and touchdowns.
Full count now to Serrano. That is a tall, skinny quarterback.
Charlie Condon played a little quarterback. Talk about tall and skinny.
Yeah.
He said he got the ball out of his hands real quick. He didn't want to get hit.
Lined into center field. Carter gets there after a couple of hops. And Serrano's got his second hit. Sunday Night Baseball features series finale between the Yankees and the Red Sox at 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Heard a great interview Carl Ravitch had with Aaron Judge this weekend. They're in town for the Dodgers and Yankees series. And Ravi asked Judge about eliminating the words I and me from his interviews. And he said, well, it was really simple. When I was at Fresno State, we would get fined if we used those words. Into center field, well struck. Carter will watch it sail, and it's a home run for Garrett Pennington on the first pitch. NC State bounces back with the 18th home run of the year for Pennington.
Boy, you talk about turning one around. How about 108 off the bat, 424 feet, right over our center field camera. Boy, what a move to the baseball that was. What we got going on here? Playing a little hockey.
Love it. And you know who would really feel comfortable in that helmet, and that's this guy, Alec Makarevic. He wears number 99. And in baseball, see somebody wearing 99, your first guess might be the guy we're just talking about. But no, he wears 99 for the great one. He played a lot of hockey as a youngster. He's a big Wayne Gretzky fan.
Wow. Seems like he'd be a little bit too young to remember Gretzky, but I guess not, huh?
You know what? It's funny you said. That's exactly what I said to him. And he looked at me with a wry smile and he goes, you know I'm 23, right? Just a hair older than most. Out of play to the left side. Makarevic transferred in from East Carolina. Cliff Godwin's the head coach there when that's Elliott Avent. How does he scout guys when they enter the portal? You know, you heavy on analytics, film, maybe players that you face. And he goes, nah, I pick up the phone and I call the coach. I know enough people in this business. And Cliff raved about it.
I want to hear it right from the horse's mouth.
That's blocked by Gonzalez. I know you have been impressed with Makarevic, not just at the plate, but defensively over at third. 6'2", 234. He credits hockey for his quick feet.
Yeah, he moves his feet well. And I think he's got a good arm for coming across the diamond, too. Hard to believe somebody's not going to give this kid a chance to play pro ball.
This outstanding player of the Raleigh Regional. Right through 95. Big pitch from Zach Harris following the Pennington home run.
Yeah, Garrett Pennington got all of this ball, too. Watch this ball work to the inside part of the plate and just get off me ball. Gets those hands in tight to the body, gets the barrel to it. And you talk about a no-doubter on that short stroke.
424 feet for Pennington. Here's Jacob Cozart again. Cozart 0 for 1 with the ground out to short. And he rips one through the right side. Second trip through the order, and of the first 4, 3 of them have come up with hits.
Yeah, Cozart hits this one so hard, he just beats the shift, just powers it right through the shift. 3 infielders on that side over there.
There's Brandon Butterworth. He flew out to right field his first time up. Breaking ball in for a strike. Zach Harris has been through worse on the mound. When he started against Florida in a final regular season series of the season, he pitched with a broken nose. He'd been hit by a ball in the bullpen and pitched with the broken nose and a black eye. This one's turned on and pulled foul. Long run for Chadwick in the corner, and he makes the catch. Well, that thing was coming back with the wind having picked up just a bit right before.
I think you say that ball was well foul when it came off the bat. It just kept drifting. Good thing it's 350 out there to straightaway left field, because in a normal ballpark, it might have been over the fence.
So 2 down and Alex Sosa coming up. Zach Harris is already getting warm in the Georgia bullpen. Or pardon me, Colton Smith is getting warm in the Georgia bullpen. He was their game 1 starter. If you're Wes Johnson and you get the itch, how long do you wait before you make a move in a decisive game?
Wow, it's going to be short leashes for both of these starting pitchers, no doubt. Because you mentioned the bullpens are fresh. There's some arms down there, especially on the NC State side.
Fastball up 2-0. Sosa 2 hits in this Super Regional, including his second inning 1-out single. 3-0.
Zach Harris only had 35 innings pitched going into this game. 18 walks. A little bit higher than what he'd want.
Runner at first is Cozart. The 3-0. Head down Millage for a strike. 3-1. Shift is on with the shortstop Colby Branch playing to the right of the bag at second. That's still legal in college baseball.
Still legal.
The bottom of the zone. Takes a count full, and Angel Campos is getting questioned by Alex Sosa right now after this one.
Yeah, that's about as good a 3-1 pitch as you can throw right there. Got to throw a strike. He just dots it down and away on the outside part of the plate. Let's see if he goes back to that changeup here. It's been a really good pitch for him against the left-handers.
Here's the payoff from Zach Harris. Pulled to the right side, and again they beat the shift. Cozart on his way to third, packed with runners at first and third, and 2 down.
Harris not fooling many NC State hitters. You mentioned the first couple times through the lineup, he was pretty good. That ball just sitting right in the heart of the plate, a little bit to the outside part of the plate, and another ball hit hard through the shift. Wes Johnson quickly out of that Georgia dugout.
Wes Johnson was the pitching coach for the national champion LSU Tigers last year. Longtime college coach. He took a detour to the big leagues and was hired away from Arkansas to be the pitching coach at Minnesota. And pivoted again in the middle of the season a few years ago when the Twins were in first place and came back to the college game.
Yeah, and he did some wonderful things with the Twins. I mean, they were really, their pitching staff, one of the tops in baseball. And I love Wes Johnson's story. He put in his time, man. Coached high school ball for 11 years, was a pitching coach at the collegiate level for another 11 years, then got his chance at the big league level, and back into the college game. He wanted back into the college game. Well, what a first year on campus here in Georgia. And all they have done, 43 wins in his first year.
This is his first head coaching job since he was leading Abundant Life High School as a head man in his hometown of Sherwood, Arkansas back in 2007. Played at Arkansas Monticello where he was a boll weevil. Luke Nixon up with runners at first and third and 2 down. 2 runs already in this third on a Garrett Pennington home run. 1-0. Well, Colton Smith has been up and down in the Georgia bullpen. Now he'll get back up again. Changeup fouled off, 1-1. Smith threw 38 pitches as the Game 1 starter Saturday afternoon. He got touched for 10 hits and 10 runs and only recorded 3 outs. But he's anxious to get back out there. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Was a big one, 1-2.
Changeup's clearly been the best pitch for Zach Harris. Boy, he's just one pitch away from getting out of this inning.
The 1-2 from Harris. Again. And the tag applied to finish it off. It is the 3rd strikeout for Zach Harris, but Garrett Pennington with a big 2-run bomb to get State back in this thing. We'll talk with the head man of the Wolfpack, Elliot Avent, when we return. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald in the booth. Down in the NC State dugout, it's Elliot Avent who's taken the pack to Omaha twice. Coach, we got a bunch of people watching tonight don't watch college baseball during the course of the season. You've been around this game your entire life. What do you love about college baseball?
I love everything, Ben, about college baseball. You know that. I love the players. I love the atmosphere. I mean, it's a great atmosphere here in Georgia tonight. This is awesome. Everybody's watching this game prime time. We're the only college game on tonight, and I bet it's being watched. I've heard from so many people, including General Shelton last night, a 4-star general. Just heard from so many people reaching out, wishing us success tonight, and just it brings everybody together. I love college baseball.
Coach, you got some big-time arms in that bullpen down there. What's the point in time of the game you think you may have to go to them?
Well, we'll go to him whenever Logan Whitaker tells us we got to go to him. Right now, he appears to be doing good. I mean, that breaking ball got hit pretty good, but I still thought it might stay in the yard. But this is a pitcher-friendly, a hitter-friendly ballpark, and it snuck out. And then Logan will dictate when that's happening. Right now, I think he's got pretty good command of 3 pitches. But like you said, we got Duden down there, we got Consiglio down there, we got Derek Smith down there. So we'll go when either Logan or Georgia tells us it's time to go.
Coach, thanks for your time. Always great visiting with you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Elliot Avent in his 36th season as a college head coach, New Mexico State and then NC State. 28th year with the Pack. He coached everybody from Carlos Rodon and Trey Turner to Russell Wilson while at NC State. 3-1 now. Got a handful of big leaguers currently.
Yep. How about over 1,240 wins in his career?
Pulled foul by Colby Branch, a 9-hole hitter for Georgia. And their starting shortstop. Branch is from Lucas, Texas. Started his college career at Baylor. He came on his recruiting trip as a transfer late June when LSU was in the College World Series. Wes Johnson had the Georgia job but was finishing up with LSU, Paul Skeens and company. And so when we're going to head back to the dugout instead of heading to first. Ranch thought that was ball 4.
Yeah, 3-2 fastball, and I mean a little paint piece right on the outside part of the plate. And Cozart, to me, does this again. Watch how quick he brings this ball back. Boom, just brings it right back over the plate. Well, he's already stolen, what, 2 or 3 pitches so far for me.
And back to the top of the order now, and Corey Collins. Collins struck out swinging his first time up. He has set the school record for hit by pitches and looks at the breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. This Angel Campos strike zone looks a little bit wider than what we typically see in the modern day of college baseball.
That's right. This is more of an old traditional, say 4 or 5 years ago and further back college strike zone where maybe you get a ball off the outside part. Now, it's not been vertical. Like, we haven't seen the high pitch call, but he's given a little bit off the edge, especially when the catcher sits there and you hit the glove.
Collins tied for 4th in Georgia history with 45 home runs and sends it to the left side. Makarevich fires. 2 down. And now the bases are empty for Charlie Condon. How do you approach Charlie Condon conundrum is one that opposing coaches have had to fight all season. Certainly easier with the bases empty.
Very carefully is how you approach it. But this is when you want to face him, right? 2 out, nobody on. And NC State's walked him a couple times, but they've pitched to him for the most part.
So him off with a changeup, 0-1. His 36 home runs are the most in college baseball since 1997, when Lance Berkman hit 41 as a Rice Owl. 0-2.
First pitch changeup, and then follows that with a really good fastball down and away on the outside part. And Whitaker, plenty of options here.
Condon lays off of it. You're watching Charlie during batting practice today. How elite is his bat speed?
And look, he's still really slim. Like shoulders hadn't developed, body really hadn't developed yet, but he gets the bat through the zone. Like, it really comes off the bat. And he's quiet at the plate too. For a guy that's got long levers at 6'6", you would think the swing would be really long. I don't see a long swing. It is short and tight, compact to the ball.
He is 6'6", 216 pounds. He's had to work to put that weight on since he arrived on campus and redshirted his first year. And he chases that one maybe out of the zone. Strikeout number 5 for Logan Whitaker. Just a 15-pitch third, and we are still tied at 2 through 3. We got game 3 Thursday night in Edmonton at 8 Eastern. The Stanley Cup final rolls on. Game number 2 starting right about now on ABC between the Panthers and the Oilers. Coverage Thursday begins with The Point at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Hockey celebration for NC State after the Garrett Pennington home run. And Matt Hebner leads off the 4th. We are tied at 2. Tom Hart alongside Ben McDonald. This is the final Super Regional game. 7 teams making the travel plans for Omaha already. Winner of this one will be the 8th, and this ball is launched into the corner. Will roll all the way up underneath the fence before Clayton Chadwick can find it. And Matt Hebner has a 2-for-2 night going.
Boy, I tell you what, NC State from game 1 of this Super Regional, they have been uber aggressive at home plate. I mean, they go up there, hunt the fastball. When they get what they're looking for, they have not missed it very often. Fastball just leaves right in the heart of the plate. You talk about finding the barrel. Leadoff double, good start here. At the top of the 4th for NC State, and Wes Johnson out of that Georgia dugout.
And that'll be the end of the line for Zach Harris. 3 innings pitched for Harris, and Colton Smith, who started game 1 for Georgia, had been warming in the Bulldog bullpen. NC State 2, Georgia 2. Back to Athens in a moment. We're tied at 2, top of the 4th inning, but 1 batter into the 4th. Georgia goes to the bullpen for their game 1 starter, Colton Smith, who threw 38 pitches in game 1 of this Super Regional against NC State. 6'3" right-hander out of Ocala, Florida. Smith's numbers on the season: 9-3 with a 5.43 ERA, 101 strikeouts and 66 in the third But Ben, when this Super Regional started, he faced 14 Wolfpack hitters and allowed 10 hits and 10 runs.
And don't think that's not in the back of his head right now, because the last time he took the mound, it was a laser show against him. There's his numbers. Didn't even get it out in the second inning. Gave up 8 earned runs. Struck out 2, and he can do that. He can strike you out, but it's about the breaking balls. The fastball's a good one for him. It'll average about 93, but make no mistake about it, it's about the slider and the curveball. Both of those pitches for him, well over 40% swing and miss. So that's way above the D1 average.
He had pitched primarily out of the bullpen through the first chunk of the season and had starts against A&M in Florida and SEC play. And then 2 postseason starts. And here's Noah Souls.
See if NC State might be playing a little small ball here.
How important, if you're Colton Smith and you're trying to flush the memory of what happened 2 days ago, is this first batter?
Very important, because you get the first out and you begin to forget what happened just a couple of days ago. You're looking for something positive to happen.
Colton was undone by numerous misplays in the field in the first game of the Super Regional. Fly balls that were dislodged by the wall and the ground. 2 bunts that went unfielded. A missed throw at second base and what could have been a force out.
No doubt. It wasn't all on him. Now, he did not pitch well, but his defense, there was 4 or 5 plays in that 1 inning alone that probably should have been made that weren't. And it just got away from him.
He wanted that call 1-1.
Well, we've seen this pitch called so far tonight, just right off the outside edge. And it's a ball. You can see it's 6 inches off the outside part.
The 1-1. And now 2 balls and a strike. All right, so from the NC State perspective, if you're a guy like Noah Souls and you've already faced Colton Smith, and as a matter of fact, you ripped 2 doubles off of him, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I got to get a ground ball to the right side. That's what I want to do. If it goes through, that's icing on the cake. But leadoff double, I got to find a way to get him over, and then we got to find a way to get him in.
Sold had a bases clearing double his first plate appearance, game 1 of the Super, and another close one. 3 balls and a strike, but once again off the plate. Georgia fans seeing it more with their hearts right now. Runner at second is Hebner. This is a powerful NC State offense, including today. Pack has homered in all 6 of its tournament games. Second time this season they've hit at least 1 home run in 6 straight. Today came from Pennington. Inside, ball 4. Two on, nobody out.
Yeah, this NC State offense is going to a different place about the last 20 games. If you don't know the story of NC State, I mean, they were kind of just puddling along. And they had lost, what, 5 in a row in early April. They were swept by Louisville. And they were fixing to face the heart of their schedule. So there was a lot of concern. But then they win series over Clemson, North Carolina, Virginia. They split with Florida State. 1 game rained out, so they go 1-1 against Florida State. And then they swept Wake to end the season. So they really turned it up.
Well, to this point, NC State has won 17 of its last 24. Eli Serrano had to drop a bunt down. He is 2 for 2 today. They are 11-6 against top 10 teams. They were right at 500 in the league when they had that tough stretch. All of those teams ahead of them in the standings and the rankings that you just mentioned. Pitch. Perfectly placed to third. Condon takes care of it. The sacrifice advances Hebner to third and Souls to second.
I like it. When you're asking a guy that's already 2 for 2 at the plate and Serrano to lay down a bunt, but he lays one down perfectly. So now runners at second and third and just 1 out. This is well done right here. Bat out in front, top of the strike zone, and just shoves it right down the third base line. Forces Condon to vacate the position at third base.
And it brings big Garrett Pennington to the plate with 2 in scoring position and 1 out. That was the first one straight back. Pennington, 3rd team All ACC. Leads the conference in doubles. Oh, that one will trickle to the backstop. Racing home from third is Hebner, and NC State has its first lead of the game.
Well, a tough chance for the catcher for Georgia, Fernando Gonzalez. This looked like a breaking ball. It was yanked well off the outside part of the plate. He's expecting the ball. No, that's a fastball, actually. That is a big miss. You can see Gonzalez kind of wanted that ball a little bit up and in. That's where he set up. And that ball is down and away, and no chance for Gonzalez.
And he misses away there. 2-1.
Yeah, and if you're Pennington, it's about recognizing the situation, right? Middle infielders, everybody's playing back, which means if you just hit a routine ground ball up the middle, that's going to give you a 2-run lead. Base hits, icing on the cake.
What is the leash like for Colton Smith in this situation?
Well, if you look down that bullpen, it's not going to be very long because there's already action down in that Georgia bullpen. And I don't think you were going to get a lot out of him anyway. He just pitched, just 2 days ago, but you hoped he could get you an inning and get out of an inning or two.
Swing and a miss, one in the dirt. Gonzalez will have to throw down to finish the strikeout. 2 down.
Well, that's a big strikeout for Smith, too. Runner at third, only 1 out. He gets the strikeout that he needs.
And here's Alec Makarevich. Makarevich 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. To the left side throw. NC State has a 2-run lead, and Makarevich with his first hit of the game.
Big hit Mac. That's him. What a year he has had. Came in hitting .380 with 21 homers, making 78 RBIs. And this is a thing right here. That's a thing of beauty right there. Changeup working down and away from him. He didn't try to pull it. He just went right with it. The hands go first. The barrel follows it and just paints it right down the third base line. And NC State now a 2-run lead.
And here's Jacob Cozart. Talking with Alec before the game. He's ready for the spotlight, but he's just a hair embarrassed. He's got a chipped tooth. The tooth that he originally chipped when he was playing hockey as a youngster. He was having a burger and some fries last night, and he goes, I felt something in my mouth. It was half of my tooth. I mean, this dude is hockey through and through, isn't he?
He got way too many teeth to be a hockey player.
We've got a half less now, 1-1. Cozart's homered 3 times in 2 games against Georgia this weekend, including an 8th inning solo shot last night that he hit off the scoreboard in right center field. It broke a couple of panels. Looks like they've been replaced. Yeah, everything looks fixed. All the bulbs are working. Jacob's big brother Caleb plays at UNC Greensboro. Little brother Sam is not little, but he'll be a big draft pick. Sam is 6'7", 235, wears a size 18 shoe, is committed to Jim Schlossnagle, Texas A&M, but many think the draft may be too tempting for little big Sam.
Yeah, Jacob says he's a small one in the family. He's 6'3", 225.
And he pulls it deep to right field, and this one will end up in foul territory back in the trees.
How about the feed bill to feed those 3 youngsters? Huh? Better go get a loan.
Runner on the move. It's lined up the middle and into the glove of Colby Branch. But NC State scrapes across a couple, 2 runs on a couple of hits, 1 scoring on a wild pitch. We'll hear from Georgia head coach Wes Johnson when we return. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald, happy to be joined by Georgia head coach Wes Johnson. Wes, this time last year, you're getting ready for Omaha, won a national championship as the pitching coach for LSU. What did you learn about that run that you're using now this season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you're going to play in a lot of games like we kind of got flowing right now. They're going to be tight. Emotions are going to be high. And you just have to stay calm, not hit the panic button, and just keep playing. I think those are some things I took away from last year.
Coach, first year on campus for you, obviously. How about this environment, man? The folks have shown up. They have supported your bunch big time. It's been a special, special environment.
Yeah, no, really excited. Our fans have been phenomenal. And they've come out, and our guys love it, and it's just a great credit to them.
Hey, Wes, before you let you go, how's the pitching shaping up the rest of the way now that you've got Colton in the game?
Yeah, no, we got all hands on deck. So we're going to start matching some things up and go from there.
Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
luck, Coach.
Go Dogs.
One big difference, you had a guy by the name of Skeens last year.
Yeah, not many of those guys running around the college game. Not many of those guys at the big league level either.
Well, what a team that was for LSU. Number 1 and number 2 overall pick, and 13 players drafted in the national championship squad. Here's Slade Alford leading off the 4th inning for Georgia. 17 home runs. He's driven in 69. One and one. Whitaker misses with the breaking ball. 2-1 now for Alford, who struck out to end the first.
Yeah, Whitaker's doing exactly what he needs to do. He gave up 2 early. His team came right back and tied this ball game up, and then he threw up a 0. And he's looking to do it again after his team just gave him 2 more.
What do you like about his stuff?
I like his experience, first of all. I mean, you're talking about his 38th career start, his 45th appearance. So he's kind of been there. He's been a 3-year starter for NC State, so he knows what it's all about. I do like his fastball. His fastball got some nice hop to it, and I love the way he's commanding it, too. He's working the outside part of the plate. Didn't get the call on that one. Showing a pretty good breaking ball and a changeup as well. He seems dialed in.
Here's the payoff to Alford. Not just starts under his belt, but big games. A Friday night starter the last couple of seasons. In college baseball, that means you're the ace.
And look, he had his best start of the year, and that goes a long way for confidence. His best start of the year, his last time out in Game 3 of that Raleigh Regional.
Swing and a miss, a 92. 6K here for Logan Whitaker.
And he's fresh, too. Only 47 innings of work on the year coming in, and he just dots a fastball, maybe a little bit off the outside part of the plate, but close enough. Slade Alford offers at it.
And that'll bring Dylan Goldstein up. We've talked about Jacob Cozart's receiving skills. Is he good enough at pitch framing that he causes Georgia to fish out of the zone a little bit?
Potentially, yes. Yes, because, I mean, there's been some, you mentioned it earlier, this strike zone at times has been a little bit wider than what we've seen. So as a hitter, you know that. And you know when you get down 2 strikes, you need to protect the outside part of the plate.
Goldstein sends it to center. Here's Eli Serrano, 2 down. And Trey Phelps coming up. He did some damage last time.
And those are things that get talked about from at bat to bat in both of these dugouts. You know, hey, umpire, the 2 strikes guys, we got to protect the outside part. He's giving a ball off the outside edge. So you know that as a hitter going in. And when you get to 2 strikes, the one thing that goes through your mind is, hey, I don't want to strike out looking. And sometimes you end up chasing the ball a little bit off the outside edge.
Two-run home run for Phelps last time up. We talked earlier about how some of the older guys in this team have kind of convinced him just be yourself.
Well, clearly, if you're going to unbutton that many buttons, he is being himself. I mean, that's confidence right there. I mean, you're a freshman, and I'm just going to unbutton most all of them.
Well, why not? He was really struggling earlier this season. He dealt with some injuries, and they went to play a series at Texas A&M. It was smoking hot. He said, I sweated through my undershirt, so I figured, why do I need an undershirt? And why do I have all these buttons buttoned?
Yeah, I got a little air condition there. Just unbutton them and let it rip. And look, when you hit them like he's hitting them out of the ballpark the last 2 days, you pretty much do whatever you want to do with those buttons.
This is what he did in the second.
Yeah, fastball yesterday, and I mean a breaking ball that's set up in the zone. And boy, he knew it when it touched the heart of the bat. He had yet another home run. That was home run number 12, RBI number 40 on the year for the freshman.
2-2. Just off, full count. Phelps played in the perfect game All-American Classic at Chase Field in Arizona, where his aunt Angel Robinson plays in the WNBA with the Phoenix Mercury. To the left side, and another hit for Phelps. A 2-out single this time. He is 2 for 2.
Yeah, he got him a little off-speed pitch right there and just kind of went out and circled it. Right over there in between shortstop and third base. Watch him just go out and just circle this ball. Puts his nose on it and just wraps around it.
And with 2 down, the inning extends for Dylan Carter. He's got a piece of that one. Dylan Carter was one of the recruits that was in town while Wes Johnson was with LSU in Omaha last year. And the skeleton staff, brand new to Georgia, weren't sure how to show him around, so they called this guy Kirby on campus and said, Kirby, we've got a couple of baseball recruits. So the head football coach came over, showed him around. That's not uncommon for Kirby Smart. Talking with folks around here, they've got some big-time recruits in. Doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, gymnastics.
Pretty special when Kirby Smart wants to talk to you about coming to the University of Georgia.
There was a crazy game earlier this season when Georgia was at Mississippi State that went sideways when there was a collision at the plate. Resulted in a 48-minute delay and a bunch of people getting ejected. But the beginning of that was a collision between Carter and a Mississippi State catcher. And lost in all of that was a bruised knee on that slide from Carter. It cost him the next 20 games. It was a while for him to get back. And then in the regional, he didn't have a hit, but he was walked 4 times and he was hit 4 times. He didn't even swing the bat till his 4th AB of the region. And he goes down looking here. Strikeout number 7 for Logan Whitaker. Georgia can't solve it, and NC State sitting on a 2-run lead.
That's just a beautiful changeup down and in, and Carter caught looking.
Decisive Game 3. Elliot Avent and his NC State team looking for a return to Omaha in the College World Series. And last went in 2021. In State with a 4-2 lead here in the 5th inning. And that was as controversial an ending as we've ever had at the Men's College World Series.
Yeah, I felt so bad for NC State. So bad for them during that. We had the vaccinated, the not vaccinated. And if I remember correctly, they were trying to play a game and they got COVID tested. And even what rubbed me the wrong way is even the kids that tested negative were still not allowed to play in the game. And that's what I didn't understand about the whole thing.
Those were about half the team was unvaccinated, about half the team was vaccinated. What they ended up doing was, well, they beat Vanderbilt the game before 1-0. Sam Highfield pitched in that game. Jack Leiter was on the mound for Vandy. It was a miraculous win for NC State. They had so much momentum, especially after they had beat the #1 national seed Arkansas in their place to get to Omaha. After winning 1-0, had a couple of days off. Then the tests started rolling in and things started to get a little bit sideways, and they showed up for the game that day, which ended up being delayed, I don't know, about 45 minutes if I remember correctly, maybe an hour. They only had 13 players available. Highfield, who had pitched the game before, played first base, and he ended up getting 3 hits off of Kumar Rocker.
That's right.
Brandon Butterworth leads off the 5th with a single, and so it wasn't until later that night at 1 o'clock in the morning, Avent got the call that they would have to head home and they weren't going to be eligible to play. And so he got a call from one of his players, and they said, Coach, are you okay if we go to the stadium and get a team picture? And this was the last team picture for that squad.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, before they had to head home the next morning.
Boy, that's tough, man. It's a dream come true to get to Omaha, man. You work so hard, and you don't get many opportunities to get there, man. You just don't. And when you get there and kind of have it taken away from you in some ways, just kind of rubs you the wrong way.
Here's Alex Sosa, who's 2 for 2. He could have a return trip for NC State. Talking with Elliott about that before the game today, in that precise moment, because we were both there. And he said, you know, one thing you guys may not have caught, he goes, it was late in the game, and I sensed that we were getting ready to take the lead. And I turned to Highfield, and I said, hey, we might need you. He said, Coach, I'll close. Even though he had started the game prior and was playing first base in that one. Just a heartbreaking end for Elliott Avent and his legendary career. To get another crack at it would be something else. He told us the other day, that's in for a strike. He said, listen, I don't know if this would be my last year. Maybe next season would be my last. Some days I wake up and think that's probably time. Other days I wake up and can't wait to do it again.
Yeah. That's what you call sitting on the fence. I'm 68 years old, 36th year as a head coach.
Low and in to Alex Sosa. It will be in Omaha an all ACC and SEC field. First time since it went to 8 teams that only 2 conferences would be represented. Prior to that, the last time it happened was 1948. Back then, the College World Series was in Kalamazoo, Michigan. There were only 2 teams in the best-of-3 finals. USC was the national champion that year. The other team was Yale, whose first baseman was George H.W. Bush.
That's going back a few moons right there.
A couple of them. I think it's good or bad for the sport of college baseball that only 2 conferences will be represented.
I don't know. I mean, everybody doesn't get a trophy, and the best teams make it to Omaha typically, and it is what it is. You know, I mean, I think we'd all like to see different teams, different leagues represented, but I also want to see the best teams get there. That's what I want to see. Just the way it shook out this year, it's either going to be 5-3 SEC over ACC, or it's going to be 4-4. And we'll know in about 4 innings.
Maybe. It took him a little while longer to decide that one in Clemson last night. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, it took him a little longer to decide a lot of things in that game.
Second strikeout for Colton Smith.
That's a really good breaking ball. That's where you want to throw it. You want to start it over the plate and have it dive down and in and just underneath the belt of Sosa.
Yeah, there was some drama out by the Cajun Cafe last night. Clemson had 3 ejected from that game. 2 coaches, Jack Leggett and head coach Eric Bakich. Back off over to first, where Butterworth has 13 steals on the year.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it, trying to figure out what was going on. Didn't have any volume at the restaurant, but obviously we were watching it like everybody else and had no idea what was going on.
I'm not sure anybody did. Nixon is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. But talk about how a game can turn on any one play. Cam Canarella made play after play for Clemson. He's been in the middle of it last couple of seasons. And pulled foul.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a catch like that. I mean, that catch with him running to his back to the infield, wide open and over the shoulders like Willie Mays, and collecting the ball and going into the fence all at the same time.
Outfield a little deeper at Doug Kinsmore Stadium than was at Polo Grounds.
And he was playing shallow, too. He had to get on his horse and go, and he ran that ball down.
That was an all-time classic last night. 1-1 pitch. To the left side, past the reach of Branch. Butterworth heads to third. The throw there allows an extra 90 feet for Nixon. And NC State has 2 in scoring position. Once again, it's the bottom half of the order coming through. 1 down.
Yeah, Butterworth on this ball right here. He's at first base. See, the ball goes out to left field right there. And Butterworth just kind of ran right in the face of Clayton Chadwick, the left fielder. As soon as the throw went to third base, Give Luke Nixon a lot of credit. He's watching this. What you got to do? Big turnaround first base, you're reading the throw. And as soon as the throw goes to third base, he takes an extra 90 feet. So second and third now for NC State with just one out.
And now Matt Hebner, who is 2 for 2. And Fernando Gonzalez is going to head to the mound and have a word with Colton Smith. NC State has 11 hits already here in the 5th inning.
They had 20 hits in game 1, put up 18 runs. Well, yesterday a little bit different. They did have 9 hits, but only scored 2 runs.
Well, 10 of those hits in game 1 came against the man who's on the mound right now, Colton Smith. As Johnson said, all hands on deck. They've got everybody available. But Smith, and just an inning and a third, has already allowed 3 hits and 4 base runners.
Yeah,
Corners are in for Hebner.
Keep an eye on Hebner because he will lay down a bunt. We saw that in game 1. Matter of fact, it was 2 bunts that weren't fielded correctly by Georgia, wasn't played right, and that led to that big inning.
And now everybody comes in. Branch has his toes on the turf, and Alford will do the same. Hebner singled with 2 outs in the second. He doubled to start the 4th. The infielders backing up now, 2-0. Two and 1.
NC State 1 for 7 tonight. Runners in scoring position.
You think they just asked Smith to get through the bottom of the order?
That's what it feels like. I'll tell you what, we talked about his breaking balls being his best pitches, and that's what he's leaning heavily on right now.
Packed house at Foley Field with 2 on and 1 out. Here's the 2-2 to Hebner. Got him again. Same pitch. 3rd strikeout for Smith.
Well, you talk about a strikeout when you need one right there. 2nd and 3rd, just 1 out. Colton Smith, a perfect breaking ball. You can't throw one any better than that right there with 2 strikes.
So now Noah Souls in the 9 hole. Souls was the first batter Smith faced when he came out of the bullpen to relieve Zach Harris. Drew a walk. In for a strike, 0-1. How do you keep him going to the well too often when you have a pitch like that?
Well, he's throwing 2 different breaking balls. That was the curveball, so he's showing you a little tight slider, and he's got a little bit different shape to that curveball. 2 different speeds, 2 different shapes. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Grounded to the right side, charging is Alford, and just gets it over there in time. NC State strands a pair. They have left 8 on through 5 and have a 2-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th in Athens. Feels like now or never for Georgia. NC State has won 12 straight tournament games when leading by multiple runs. It's a dog team meeting. How do we solve Logan Whitaker is a conversation.
He's been really good. It started with fastball command. He's used his fastball to both sides of the plate. He's been able to paint it to the outside part, showing you an occasional breaking ball, flipping a few changeups in there from time to time, but it's been about the fastball command from him. And look, 2nd inning wasn't a good start. He walks Goldstein, gives up a 2-run homer to Trey Phelps, but then he went down in shutdown mode after that. He is on a roll right now.
2-run lead for State. Here's Fernando Gonzalez. The Georgia catcher looks at the first one up, 1-0. Gonzalez, an experienced catcher, playing in his 181st game tonight for the Bulldogs. And the senior lifts it down the right field line. Souls racing into foul territory and gets there before he meets up with the cinder blocks. Right through the bullpen gate. Good manners to close it, 1 down.
Yeah, right-handed swing ball just keeps slicing and pushing away from him, clear into foul ground, but he stayed with it the whole time.
I don't think that athletic tape's going to hold the gate closed. We come running into that. I'm not a gate maker, but
Might need some duct tape, maybe a better chance.
Maybe some baling wire?
Not going to do it. Baling wire would work.
Here's Clayton Chadwick. You got baling wire in your pickup bed?
Not right now, but I do a lot of times of the year.
I just caught you at the wrong time. That tape ain't cutting it.
No, that's not going to work.
Clayton Chadwick 0 for 1. Chadwick getting the start in left field tonight. Last night it was Paul Tates who went 2 for 5 with a home run and a double.
Yeah, not very often you go 2 for 5 with a home run and a double and you can't find yourself in the lineup the next day.
And this one's ripped into the right field corner. It's a fair ball and up against the base of the fence. Chadwick into second base with a feet first slide, and a 1-out double has the Georgia crowd on its feet.
And that's why I'm sitting up here and not coaching down there. Well, Wes Johnson knows what he's doing. Sits a guy that had a couple of hits, including a home run, and puts Chadwick in the game. And how about this swing right here? Just goes out there. Watch him dive out there and get that changeup and just wraps around the backside of it. Shoves it all the way down the right field line. A little two-hopper off the wall. Georgia will get their first opportunity today with a runner in scoring position.
By the way, that's not the first ball to the outfield that we've seen just kind of get stuck under the fence instead of carom off. A little bit of gap between the track and the very bottom of the wall. There was one in left field earlier this game too. So look at the difference in the padding and the base. 1-0 the count to Colby Branch, who struck out looking his last time up. Branch was one of the transfer players that got taken on a recruiting trip by Kirby Smart when he was visiting with Wes Johnson still in Omaha with LSU. When Wes got him on the phone, he projected that he would hit 15 home runs this year. Well, Branch has hit 17, and he finally came up to his coach late in the year and he said, I thought that was just recruiting spin. You really meant it.
That's what he told him. He said, you come here and you're going to hit 15 homers. Well, all he's done is hit 17. Pretty good weapon down in your 9-hole, huh? 17 long balls, 58 RBIs.
It's a freshman All-America for Mitch Thompson at Baylor last year. Fastball misses off the plate, 2-2. Logan Whitaker hadn't had to pitch from the stretch that much tonight. How does that change things for him?
Well, it's about rhythm. He should be dialed in by now. I mean, typically once you get to the 4th or the 5th inning, it doesn't really phase you to go too much out of the stretch, unless you're just not comfortable pitching out of the stretch.
Full count.
I think more guys are more comfortable in the windup because that's where you get a lot more rhythm. You can kind of take your time and kind of get your pace. You get runners on base, sometimes it speeds up on you. You got to be a little quicker to home plate.
Here's the payoff to Branch. Ripped to the left side. It's through. Chadwick will be stopped at third, and Georgia's got 2 on with 1 out in the 5th.
2 out and 1 on in the 5th, and you got the top of your lineup rolling up now. So a big opportunity here for Georgia. Boy, that's another good piece of hitting right there. Fastball, middle of the plate, but down a little bit. And that's the difference with Whitaker right there. He was getting ahead early. Now he's kind of starting to fall behind a little bit. And this is the kind of offense you don't want to fall behind on and get predictable counts because they can change the game in a hurry.
Blake Chrysler out, the NC State pitching coach. I'll give a pause to the dancing for a moment. NC State gets its bullpen up. Jacob Duden is loose or getting there, I suppose.
He is getting there and getting there pretty quick, too. He's one of the dudes at the back end of this NC State bullpen.
So Collins 0 for 2, but 3 for 10 through 2 games against NC State through Saturday and Sunday.
Could be the last batter for Whitaker right here. My guess is Duden getting ready for Charlie Condon.
Collins leads the nation in on-base percentage. He's also got some pop, 20 home runs. Got him in the elbow, and it's one of the ways he leads the nation in on-base percentage. He gets clipped. School record hit by pitches, and now the bases are loaded for Condon.
Yeah, Corey Collins just gets his toes right up on the dish. That's what he does. And he dares you to come to the inside part of the plate.
Ella Davan wants to ask the home plate umpire, Angel Campos, if Collins leaned into this one.
I don't think he leaned into it. I don't think he tried to get out of the way, but you don't have to try to get out of the way. You just can't make an effort to get hit by the ball. In other words, you can't go towards the ball. Elbow stays out there. It's out there. No, I don't see anything there.
We talked with Corey Collins about his approach. It's changed this year. He said, I can get my toes right up there on the plate. I take away the inner third, and most college pitchers don't want to come inside anyway.
And honestly, I don't know why more hitters don't do that. And he said, I wish I would have learned that 2 years ago. I mean, that's true. Not enough college pitchers pitch inside for strikes. And he says, you know what? I'm just going to get my toes up on the plate, and I'm going to take away the inside part, and I'm going to look middle away. And it's worked for him this year.
They can also review this, by the way, to see if it actually hit him. The athletic trainer is out chatting with Logan Whitaker now. He's 84 pitches in. I didn't see anything after this last delivery. Just to confirm, you saw him get hit? I mean, it wasn't by much.
No, I mean, it just grazed that pad is what it looked like.
You could see a flush in the pad when the ball hit it.
The only thing I noticed about Whitaker, like his fastball velocity all of a sudden went down a tick or two in this inning. Like he was consistently 93, 94, and I saw some 90s and 91s. Now, maybe it's the fact he's starting to get a little bit tired. I don't know.
Confirmed a hit by pitch. Bases are loaded for Charlie Condon. 1 out in the 5th inning with Georgia trailing by 2.
And I think they motioned to the bullpen.
Well, you said before the game this was the bullet that NC State had left. A rested bullpen that was magnificent last week. Logan Whitaker out after 4 1/3.
Yeah, I thought Logan Whitaker did a really, really solid job. He gave that 2-run homer to Phelps there in the 2nd inning, and then he went to work. He looked really good. When you have a rested bullpen that's had so much success, it's time to go to him, and NC State has.
And this crowd is into it in Athens. Well, this is where dreams are realized and dreams are dashed. Bases loaded for the best hitter in college baseball, Charlie Condon, with his team trailing by 2, and a hard-throwing Jacob Duden on the mound for NC State.
Dude's got a big arm. Fastball's going to average 96. He'll tick it up 97, 98 from time to time.
Ooh, swing and a miss. Started him off with a breaking ball.
And that's his pitch. That slider of his, swing and miss rate of 55%. How about that? That's about 25% more than the average slider.
Condon, if you're just joining us, leads the nation in both average and home runs. Went back to it, 0-2. Or was that the cutter? 91, a little bit of bite to it.
Got a cutter too. Doesn't throw it very much. And sometimes on these charts we get, sometimes the slider's a little bit tighter and we call it a cutter. But I think that's the slider.
Bases juice, the 0-2. And he buried it. What a stop by Cozart.
How good is Jacob Cozart behind home plate for NC State? I mean, he can swing it. And boy, what about this? That's a ball you don't have a chance to get in front of. Only thing you can do with this ball is just try to pick it to the backhand side. You can't do it any better than that. That saved the run.
Like Spider-Man back there.
Plastic Man.
Swing and a miss. He gets Condon with the bases loaded.
That was good morning, good afternoon, and we'll see you next time. That's big time right there. That is a buzzsaw. That's what you call a big league slider right here, folks. That was pitch number 1. Goes right back to it on the outside part of the plate. Misses big with that one, but how about this one? In the zone and going, and so is Charlie Condon.
Condon is just 1 for 10 in this series. Now Slade Alford 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. And a first pitch strike. First appearance in the Super Regional for Jacob Duden. That slider misses.
Jacob Duden pitched twice in the Raleigh Regional. 5 innings total, 2 hits, 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 10 in his 5 innings of work.
He is just a freshman, 6'2", right-hander out of Huntersville, North Carolina. Poke foul.
Boy, he is spinning that breaking ball.
What a stage for the freshman, who's 3-2 with 53 strikeouts and 45 1/3, and the biggest of the year a moment ago, to get Condon with the bases loaded. 1-2 pitch. Slider again, 2-2.
Well, this is pressure here. Bases loaded, you come in, you're facing the heart of the order.
Yanks a foul.
Also got that big arm. 96.
Georgia loaded the bases thanks to a 1-out double from Clayton Chadwick. He's at third. Colby Branch at second after a single, and then Corey Collins was hit by a pitch to load him up.
9 pitches, 9 sliders.
Here's the 2-2. Everybody chasing one that's going to end up wide of the bullpen. This is a Georgia team that set a new school record with grand slams. Slade Alford right in the middle of it. He's hit 3 of them.
How about Colby Branch down in that 9-hole with 4 of them?
Alford .364 average with the bases loaded. 2-2. Did he go? No, according to Barry Chambers. Alan Avent hates that call, and will head right back to the dugout with a head shake.
Well, you be the judge. You can't, hard to tell from this angle. I'd like to see it from the side.
Nowhere to put him. Duden has leaned on his slider, the payoff. Little roller to the right side. Hebner gathers, and NC State behind Jacob Duden gets 2 huge outs. First a strike at a Condon, and then the ground out. And Georgia misses an opportunity and leaves him loaded. College World Series starts Friday in Omaha. Pairings and game time set. And this one's launched deep to right field. It is gone. NC State does it on the first pitch again. This time it's Eli Serrano III, his 3rd hit of the game. Man, oh man, Ben, we talk about shutdown innings from pitchers. How about the fact that they just got the shutdown inning with the bases loaded, and the offense answers as Serrano ambushes that pitch.
Now, I was kind of hard on him his first at bat. He thought he had one, ended up at second, probably could have ended up at third, but that one right there, you can stand there and watch this one, young man, because that's what you call a big ball there. That is stretching one out. Somewhere up there on top of Kudzu Hill it went.
Here's Garrett Pennington, who homered on the first pitch that he saw in the 3rd. Man, oh man, and NC State with its bullpen locked and loaded. NC State is 30-1 on this season when leading after 6 innings. Ninth home run of the season for Serrano. 1-2. Tap to the right side, and Alford. Sidearm, 1 down. Here's Alec Mekarevich. RBI single his last time up. NC State fans having a heck of a trip here to Athens this weekend, huh? Guys were out by the pool at the hotel all day, getting riled up for this night game.
Yeah. NC State brought some fans now.
Popped up behind the plate. Gonzalez lost it.
Yeah, the sky right now, I mean, it's right at dark, and it's hard to pick up the balls. Smith couldn't see it. The catcher, Gonzalez, never saw it. Corey Collins at first never saw it.
Mentioned that Mekarevich transferred in from East Carolina. He was a regular for East Carolina the last 4 years. And he said part of the process was the fact that his girlfriend's family are diehard ECU supporters. In fact, her dad has field level seats. He said, don't worry, they took it just fine when I said I was transferring. They helped me pack and everything. 2-2. Ellie Daybent has been to Omaha twice before. In the dirt, and tag applied. We got game 3 of the NBA Finals Wednesday night in Dallas, 8:30 Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Radio. The Celtics up 2-0. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 o'clock.
What did you say in the finals? What percentage of teams that win game 1 win the championship?
You win game 1 at home, it's the same percentage of game 1 super regional winners.
Oh, about 78%.
78%.
That's a pretty good number.
And of course, NC State took game 1 of this super regional. Jacob Cozart is 1 for 3. Hey, you asked the question earlier, with those 3 boys playing baseball all the time and him being the smallest guy at 6'3", that grocery bill must be high. His mom, Michelle, in an interview said that when all 3 boys are at home, the family per week would go through the following: 10 to 12 gallons of milk, 140 yogurts, and about 100 eggs.
Yeah, we know what the price of milk and eggs are right now.
We do?
Yeah, it's high. Really high.
How would you do it Price is Right? Would you do pretty well?
Yeah, you know, I do some grocery shopping, so I kind of pay attention. I'd probably be okay.
One two to Cozart is up the line, but foul. You choose to do the grocery shopping, or that's just on you?
It takes me a little bit longer to do it because I don't know where everything is. So I pretty much cover every aisle looking for 10 items, but I get around to it.
The good news is you can get everything on the top shelf.
I have no problem. The problem for me is the ones on the bottom shelf now. Top shelf, no problem.
They got the shift on for Cozart. NC State has fit through the shift over the course of this game. Slow roller. Alford's got a charge and flips it over to get the catcher. Lead off home run for Eli Serrano III. And NC State's got a 3-run lead. This is their 12th hit of the game.
Yeah, you talk about half a day, Eli Serrano. How about a double, a single, a sac bunt, and then a long ball?
Jacob Duden last inning was magnificent.
Yeah, we're going to change his name to Jacob Dude because he was a dude on the mound. You come in a bases loaded situation, just 1 out. You got to face the heart of this lineup, and boy, he went to work. Took him 4 pitches to get rid of Condon and a weak ground ball over to second base. That got the Wolfpack off the field. Big time moment for the freshman, and he has been a big time performer at the back end of this bullpen for NC State.
He'll start with Dylan Goldstein here in the 6th inning. Goldstein walked and flew out to center field. They've announced the game times for the College World Series. First game on Friday, June 14th, begins at 1 o'clock Central Time. It'll be North Carolina and Virginia. Game 2 is Tennessee and Florida State. And the winner of this game will face Kentucky in Game 1 on Saturday. And the second game Saturday is A&M and Florida. And if you heard all the schools, it's right. It's only ACC and SEC schools at the College World Series this year. NC State looking for its 4th trip. Georgia's been 6 times, the last in 2008. They're runner-up Fresno State. David Perno was the head coach of that 08 team. In fact, there's a little trend going with Georgia. They've never been to Omaha without a Perno on the team, either as a player, he and his brother played, or as a coach. That ball is pulled foul by Dylan Goldstein. David Perno now the head football coach at Clark Central High School just down the road. There he is.
There he is.
The ballpark today. Had a nice visit with him. He's in the gray SEC Network shirt, gray cap. I've chased a lot of really good people back to coaching after they've worked with me as a broadcaster. Full count now.
Did a little work with Dave back at the SEC Network studios many years ago.
Cool to see him at the ballpark. He lives right down the road, like a stone's throw from here. This is only his 2nd game back at Foley Field. Here's the payoff pitch. Up the middle with the shift on. Long run cut off by Makarevich. And got it there. Good balance by Pennington.
Boy, Makarevich can do it.
Looked like he was on skates, didn't he?
He can do it. Playing third base, but he's pretty much right in that shortstop position right here with the shift on. This is a tough play right here. Squares the shoulder and a really good finish on the back end by Pennington. Watch Pennington stretch out. All he can do, and it mattered too.
Well, down here's Trey Phelps. He's come up with some big hits for Georgia in the last 2 games. Two-run home run tonight, a 3-run home run yesterday. And even though he got jammed, able to muscle it into right field, he is 3 for 3. Only 1 slot left for the College World Series. Here's a look at the brackets. North Carolina and Virginia get things started Friday. Tennessee and Florida State in the nightcap. Florida State, its 24th trip. They've never before been without Mike Martin. The late Mike Martin is either a player or coach. Then the winner of this one gets the Batcats from Lexington. Texas A&M in Florida Saturday night.
How about Nick Mingione in Kentucky, huh?
Back-to-back hits as Carter sends one to left field. Trey Phelps headed to third. And Georgia's got something cooking here in the 6th with 2 aboard.
Yeah, love these 2 approaches right here. First one by Trey Phelps. Just kind of shoots one the other way, and then Dylan Carter comes up right behind him. He uses the backside of the field as well. Watch this swing here. Fastball moving down and away from him, and boy, he just hits a bullet to the backside. So 1st and 3rd and 1 out for the Dogs.
Here's Fernando Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2. Fly ball to right field, into the corner. Souls coming over, makes a catch. Tagging from 3rd is Phelps. What an effort by Souls. It turns into a sac fly as Phelps comes home from 3rd.
Noah Souls is doing it out there. Kid covers more ground than Kudzu out there. I mean, he swung way over there toward right center field and makes the play, but it pushes home a run. Georgia now a 2-run game, 5-3.
And now the 8-hole hitter Clayton Chadwick at the plate. Chadwick's hitting 100 points higher against righties this season. 293 versus right-handers. Two and 0. Missed with the fastball. How about the fastball usage from Dude in this inning versus last?
A little bit more. A few more fastballs. I mean, he was heavy on that breaking ball. Matter of fact, he threw 12 pitches that 1st inning. All 12 were sliders. Careful here. Oh, yeah, bends that slider right back in there again. Not wanting to give in. Clayton Chadwick, only 4 homers on the year, but in this ballpark, it doesn't take much to get it out.
Back-to-back sliders, 2 and 2.
Boy, you can't throw one better than that one. A little backdoor slider, ball out of the hand. It just kind of oozes back over the outside corner.
In the dirt. The velocity has dipped a little bit on this slider. How does that impact the break?
Sometimes when you throw it a little bit slower, you get a little bit more depth to it, a little more break to it.
He was shown at 91, 92 in the first outing.
For me, the best ones he threw were to Charlie Condon. Like, he threw some really good sliders. A few since then have kind of backed up a little bit.
Payoff, runner on the move. That's ball 4. Two on with 2 out. Colby Branch is due up. And Jacob Cozart will head to the mound and have a visit with Duden. Sunday Night Baseball comes your way with a series finale between the Yankees and Red Sox, 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. I started telling that story earlier, right before home run, with Aaron Judge told Carl Ravitch if he used the words I or me in an interview when he was at Fresno State, they got fined. He said it really hurt because he didn't have much money as a college player.
No. Aaron Judge, huh? First 3 weeks, a little bit of a struggle for him, but he has more than made up for it.
Here's the pitch, and Branch sends a foul. What do you think that meeting on the mound was like?
I think he just kind of hit the reset button a little bit. Give the freshman a little bit of a break, let him catch his breath, let him go back to work. I am a little bit concerned, though. That slider, he's not showing me the same slider that he threw to Charlie Condon. Like, this ball is starting to back up in the zone a little bit, and sometimes it will back up and run right into the barrel.
Swing and a miss on the slider, nothing at 2.
Those pitches in an outing for Duden is 65 this year. He's at 31 now.
Had a week off between outings with 0-2. Changed the slider. And he gets out of the inning again.
Well, I I'll tell you what, spin them if you got them. And Newton can spin that slider.
Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Under the lights in Athens, Georgia at Foley Field. Winner take all game 3 between NC State and Georgia. State with a 5-3 lead. A couple of first pitch home runs from Garrett Pennington and Eli Serrano III. That has powered the pack tonight. To keep this up, to light the bell tower red at the end of the night and get back to Omaha for the 4th time. Butterworth pops it up. Collins handles it, 1 down. And here's Alex Sosa, who's got a couple of hits. Well, Colton Smith is just kind of grinding his way through this relief appearance, it feels like.
I think that's a good word, just grinding his way through. You never know how your stuff's going to be. You know, as a starter, he pitched just a couple of days ago. They didn't throw a bunch of pitches, but still, you come right back.
What would his routine be today if he wasn't on the mound in a game?
Well, typically, if you're a weekend rotation guy and say you throw on a Friday, normally, you know, maybe play a little light catch on the next day on Saturday. Then it's probably a wait day on Sunday. Then you get a bullpen probably about 3 days afterwards.
This ball is towered deep to right field. It is onto the hill and into the party. A massive home run from Alex Sosa. His 3rd hit of the game. And NC State extends the lead. TrackMan may have lost sight of that when it says it went 377 feet.
That was a moonshot, a rainmaker is what that was. And boy, NC State, every time Georgia has scored and got some momentum back, NC State has come up and answered right back and taken it back. It was like a little slider left right in the heart of the plate. And I mean, this thing went out of sight, folks.
37-degree launch angle. Goodness. Nobody from the party wants to go into the bushes for that one. Second home run allowed by Colton Smith in this relief appearance. 3rd home run hit by the Pack today.
Yeah, NC State now at 98 home runs for the year.
Man, oh man, they can start to taste it now. Brian Zeldin has been warming for Georgia. He'll replace Colton Smith. And Georgia will go back to the bullpen. And we'll go to the bullpen for the 2nd time in this one. And on the other side for this NC State team, we kind of set the table with them. They've now won 17 of 22, but they were just, quite honestly, an average team for about the first half of ACC play. And then they hit their stride. And you always want to be playing your best baseball at this time of year. This is what happened when they last went to Omaha. They went down to Fayetteville. They beat the #1 seed in the country, making a trip to Omaha. And for a team that had such a heartbreaking trip there last time, the opportunity to get Elliott Avent another trip, just, it feels, if you're a college baseball fan, that just feels right.
Yeah, it feels like it's his time because, I mean, in a lot of ways, you know, you look at what happened to him in 21 and it was kind of taken away from him in some ways. And so you'd love to see Elliott Avent get another opportunity to get back. It would be his 3rd trip to Omaha as a coach because he told us, he said, listen, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. And maybe this is the one where he gets to Omaha for the last time and he rides off into the sunset. Who knows, but he still seems to be enjoying it.
7-1 in games decided by 2 runs or less during this 17-7 stretch. And they're right at 500 in the league before they went on that tear after getting swept by Louisville Clemson, UNC, Virginia, Wake, swept through the Riley Regional. How does a team get hot?
I think you just trust the process of what you're doing and keep plugging away. You talked about all the injuries they had and what they had to fight through. They fought through a lot. I mean, every team has a story to getting to this point. There's no doubt about that. But I think the more you win, and you mentioned the top 10 victories. I mean, they got more top 10 victories this year than anybody in college baseball. And when they started knocking off top 10 teams, they started getting a lot of confidence. And all of a sudden, it all came together for them.
And now they're sitting on a 3-run lead in the 7th inning, and they've knocked Colton Smith out of a game for the 2nd time in this Super Regional. Zeldin is a 5'11" right-hander from just down the road in Atlanta. And he takes over at a time where Georgia needs, quite frankly, just to put up zeros the rest of the way if they want to come back from this.
And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the relievers, Brian Zeldin, to be the starter right here, to go out there and stack some zeros and give this high-powered offense an opportunity. But it's about drawing a line in the sand, and that's what Georgia has to do, because NC State up 3 right now, and they got to figure out a way to stack some zeros.
And so here's Luke Nixon. He is 1 for 3 tonight. And he drags a bunt down the right side. Great thought, and tagged by Corey Collins. 2 down. And Matt Hebner coming up. Hebner's got a couple of hits in the 8th hole. Final line for Colton Smith, 3 1/3, 5 hits and 3 runs. He threw 56 pitches after starting 2 days ago.
And Zeldin pitched yesterday. He went 2 1/3 yesterday, gave up 1 run.
Swing and a miss on the slider, 1-1. .28 pitches for Zeldin in yesterday's appearance. Did you feel the second time you faced a batter, he gained more of an advantage?
It just depended on how I got him out. If I got him out with a first pitch fastball or as a quick out and only showed him a fastball, then I felt like I still had a big advantage because he hadn't seen any of the off-speed pitches yet. Now, when you get one of those at-bats where it goes 10, 11 pitches and you show him everything you got in the tank, that's when the hitter gets pretty familiar with what you're trying to do.
Alex Sosa sends a moonshot into the kudzu. It's a 6-3 state lead. Golden Spikes finalists have been named. The 46 Golden Spikes will be presented June 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN ahead of Game 1 of the College World Series Finals. We got one of the finalists here, Charlie Condon, Travis Mazzana, Oregon State with a monster season, and Arkansas's Hagen Smith. You part of that show?
I will be. I will be in Bristol helping present it. What is it, the 46th Golden Spikes Award? Charlie Condon, probably the odds-on favorite. Hagen Smith had an incredible year. Mazzana over at Oregon State, an incredible year as well. But when you lead the nation in homers and you lead the nation in batting average, do something never done before, 36 home runs in the B.B. Corbett era, you got to think Charlie Condon is probably the favorite.
Condon on deck here. Corey Collins at the plate. And the pitch is up and away 2-0. Mazzana, a wonderful story coming to Oregon State from Australia with a cricket background and a big bat. Never been a second baseman taking 1 overall, I don't think. Ricky Weeks was up there. Here's a 2-0 pitch. And for a strike, 2-1. Now, you saw Hagen Smith a lot this year. You think he's a guy that could end up in the big leagues before the end of the season if he goes to a team that's in the playoff hunt?
Potentially, yeah. He could be a guy that you could see be a fast mover, like a Garrett Crochet was a few years ago for Tennessee when he went straight to the big leagues.
3 balls and a strike.
Now, I don't think he'd go as a starter. He might go as a bullpen guy.
Kind of like what David Price did back
Yeah,
there.
just give you an extra arm, a left-handed arm back there.
Royals have a top 10 pick. They're having a fantastic run so far early on. Full count to Corey Collins. 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Getting late for the Bulldogs, down by 3. You know, the top of the order up, you feel like this might be their last big crack at it.
Very well could be. 9 outs to work with. Still plenty of time, especially with the way they hit home runs now, 150 of them on the year. The key is getting a few base runners on.
Second in the country behind Tennessee. And there you go. He reaches again. Leads the nation in on-base percentage.
Yeah, Corey Collins' on-base percentage went up 170 points from what it was last year.
And now this guy, Charlie Condon. Condon is only 1 for 10 in the Super Regional. He is 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts.
Let's see if he makes some adjustments, because he got all sliders and all sliders on the outside part of the plate the last time he faced Jacob Duden.
Oh, and Duden has one get away from him.
That is a big miss right there on a breaking ball. You can see Jacob Cozart, NC State catcher, he rocked to the outside part of the plate. He wanted this ball down and away where he struck him out the last time, but look where it ends up. I don't know if that ball slipped out of his hand, but that is nowhere close.
And it brings a tying run to the plate in the form of Slade Alford. Derek Smith is getting loose.
Yeah, it's kind of been a two-headed monster down there. Duden and Derek Smith's got 7 saves.
If you're State, what's your concern level with Duden?
I'm concerned a little bit. Again, he's thrown some really good sliders for me, but he's also thrown some that backed up in the part of the plate. And we're going to get a mound visit right here.
Cozart had just gone out there. Now we'll have another shot. Give a little bit more time for Smith. Clint Chrysler is the NC State pitching coach. So your choice is save Smith for later and try to finish the game in the 8th and the 9th, or in the highest leverage situation, make a change here.
I mean, sometimes the biggest moments of the game is not in the 9th inning. Sometimes it's in the 7th or the 8th inning. And so this part of the game, maybe you bring your dude in, your other dude at the back end, and say, okay, get me out of this jam. Maybe we'll score a few more runs. I don't know if you can get us all the way to the end, but we also have Consiglio down there as well, and he maybe could finish this game.
Sometimes being a pitching coach or a manager in baseball is kind of like running a NASCAR team. You got enough gas to finish the race? Let's see what Derek Smith's got.
That's right. You'll cross that bridge when you get there. Right now, the idea is getting out of this huge jam.
They're trying to get the party started here in Athens, and man, did we have some drama last night, Clemson. It was game 2 of the Clemson Super Regional. They pitched and Jack Caglione made him pay. Then Caglione had a little brush up coming down the first base line. That would result in an ejection. Cam Canarella with this amazing catch up against the fence. And we got a bat slam, coach's toss, and a walk-off winner. And it was an 11-10 thriller in 13 innings.
Yeah, I mean, what a ball game. Good thing the product on the field was really good.
Why is that?
Well, because I thought the umpires did not handle that situation very well at all. They did not handle it at all. It was really embarrassing, at best, is the way they handled that.
I'd love to see the NCAA get to a point where umpires announce moves to the stadium, which of course will then come across television to the viewers at home. The SEC does that for regular season games and the SEC tournament games, just like you would get an announcement at a football game.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to have an idea of what was going on? Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Packed house here at Foley Field. And they welcome in NC State's newest reliever. Right-hander Derek Smith out of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. 6'2", 219. What's Derek Smith feature?
Well, fastball's going to tick up 93, 94, but his best pitch, and there's no mistaking it, is that slider. And he's going to use that slider the majority of the time. How about this? Opponents hitting 0-28 off of that slider of Derek Smith. He's got a big-time swing and miss rate. That slider is swung and missed 65% of the time. The average college slider swung and missed 33% of the time, to give you an idea.
So we just went from one great slider to another, huh?
Yeah, and this one might be better. Derek Smith, you're thinking ground ball right here. Ground ball double play if you can get it. Now, once I get to 2 strikes, then I'm thinking one thing. How can I strike you out?
Smith came out of high school with great accolades. He was a top-ranked right-handed pitcher in the state of Minnesota. And the number 2 overall prospect in the state. Was little used out of the bullpen last year for the Wolfpack. Here's Slade Alford with 2 on and nobody out. Georgia trailing by 3. And Alford touches the first deep to center field. Serrano back. He's at the wall and he makes the catch. Tagging from second is Collins. Eli Serrano may have just saved a game-tying home run. And at 6'5", he used every bit of his reach to make sure that one found the leather.
Well, Serrano is doing it on both sides of the ball. 3 for 3 at the plate, including a home run. And watch him go get this one. Slider off the bat. And a bullet all the way out to center field. And go get it, young man. He uses all 6'5" of that frame right there to reel that one in. Big time. 100 off the bat, 393 feet. If it's been 395, we'd have a tie game.
We've seen numerous scenarios as Dylan Goldstein stands in and he waves at a first pitch slider. Numerous scenarios been where an outfielder goes to make the catch. He gets it in the glove. Then when he meets up with that wall, it's enough to jar it out.
He played that as well as you could play it.
Breaking ball misses low, 1-1. Goldstein was walked and came around to score in the second. To the right side. This will get a run home as Pennington takes it to the bag. Collins scores. 2 down.
Nice play by Pennington right there. Not trying to do too much. I mean, if you're NC State, you're hunting outs right now. No need to try to come home with that ball in an iffy play. Go ahead and take the out.
And I got to deal with this dude. He is loose. He is confident. And he is dialed in. Trey Phelps is 3 for 3 with a 2-run home run tonight. Slider, you think?
I would think so, yes. I mean, Smith's got a good fastball. 93, 94, but when you got swing and miss in these situations like he has with that slider, you tend to lean on that pitch.
Condon is the runner at second.
And if you're Trey Phelps, you're looking for nothing but a slider.
High right field. Souls has plenty of space. Now he's going to chase, and he comes across the chalk to make the play to end the inning. Georgia had 2 on with nobody out. They only get 1 across thanks to the play in center field of Eli Serrano III.
Yeah, this is a game changer right here. Serrano right up against the wall to reel that ball in. NC State up by 2.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA consent is prohibited.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Classic City looking beautiful tonight. NC State with a 6-4 lead as we head to the 8th. Eli Serrano with that catch up against the fence, and he's got a home run and 3 hits tonight. First pitch to was Souls, misses low. Lined into center field. One down. Eli Serrano delivering on both sides tonight.
Yeah, he has been the game changer so far for NC State. That was his home run in the 6th inning. Had a double in the 1st, a single in the 3rd. And how about that catch right there? You talk about changing the game on both sides of the ball. He has done it.
.65201. Talking with Eli at the cage today, and he said he never really had that big growth spurt in high school. Came in 9th grade. I was already 6'1", about 6'2", and inch by inch.
Just kept on going. Well, you can dream on him a little bit. He moves well, gets good jumps, got a good arm. Obviously, he can hit. And you put another 20 pounds on that frame right there.
And he sends one high to left field. Ball carrying at the fence. Catch made by Clayton Chadwick.
And I'm telling you, when the ball gets in the air here, you just almost hold your breath if you're on the mound. Because I didn't think this ball was hit that well at all. And it pushes the left fielder Chadwick all the way up against the wall.
And so here's Garrett Pennington.
I believe if I was Wes Johnson, I'd be recruiting single ball pitchers. Try to keep it on the ground as much as I could.
No doubt. What a run it could be for Pennington, who a couple of years ago was playing for the Division II National Championship with the Mules of Central Missouri. They were runner-up to Wingate. National Championship played in Cary, North Carolina. And now he could be headed to the Division I Men's College World Series. Pennington hit a 424-foot home run on the first pitch he saw in the 3rd inning. And this breaking ball scorched past Condon into left field corner. Chadwick will watch it roll all the way to the fence. Pennington digs his way to second.
Boy, this guy can hit, huh? And it's kind of unusual because it's a big high leg kick. Look how he just picks that leg up. He just sits on his backside, and when he gets it down, there is some force going through the zone right there. And this ball right here just chews up Charlie Condon. No chance for him over at 3rd base. Hit so hard it gets all the way down to the wall, so a 2-out double.
NC State has not gone down 1-2-3 in any inning tonight.
It has been constant pressure up and down the lineup for NC State.
Here's Makarevich. State went to the portal and plucked Makarevich out of ECU. They had a hole over at 3rd base. Gino Gruber was a 2nd-round pick out of NC State last year, had been playing 3rd. And he launches it into the trees in right center field. Makarevich goes yard. NC State is pouring it on now.
Boy, every time that Georgia has scored, NC State has come right back in the top half of the next inning and taken all the momentum back. And this was a large one here. Maybe the longest ball we've seen so far. Get your hockey helmet on and go to town, young man.
Looks good with that chipped tooth, doesn't he? It fits. In game 1 of this Super Regional, each of the top 4 hitters for NC State left the yard. And in game 3, each of the top 3 hitters have now gone yard. Pennington in the 3rd, Serrano in the 6th, and now Makarevich in the 8th.
That is 10 home runs for NC State now in 3 games here. Whoa.
They were just barely top 40 in the country coming into the Super Regional, but among the teams that are remaining on the road to Omaha, that is now 15 home runs for NC State in 6 games. To have them the top half of the field in Omaha should they get there.
That's what you call saving your best for last.
Well, Gonzalez has taken a beating behind the plate for Georgia the last couple of games, if not the entire season.
Oh, right on the inside of that knee. We've all been hit there before. You got that place right on the inside of your knee. When you get hit right there, it's like you can't move.
You could have just showed me. You didn't have to reach over and touch.
Well, I want to make sure you knew what spot I was talking about.
I feel
You've been
it
hit
now.
there before?
Just about 20 seconds ago.
The only thing that rivals that is when you're going through the parking lot real fast and you run your shin into somebody's trailer hitch at night. That's what that feels like.
I think that probably happens more often in Louisiana.
A lot around here too in Georgia.
Makarevich, they will know how to say the name when NC State makes it to Omaha, and he may just get that tooth fixed.
Come on
or if
now.
he hit like this, leave the chip out.
That's big hit Mac right there. NC State answers right back with his 4th long ball of the day.
Eight 4 NC State leads Georgia as we head to the home half of the 8th inning. 77th Men's College World Series begins this Friday. Finals begin Saturday, June 22nd from Omaha. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. And on that site right now, you can find all the game times for this weekend. The winner of this one is slotted to face Kentucky in the first game on Saturday. Dylan Carter leads off the 8th inning for Georgia. Well, previous 7 slots are filled in Omaha, waiting on the final entrant coming between NC State and Georgia. This one lifted out of play deep down the left side. Good foul. If you compare this Super Regional and think of it as just a regular 3-game series, which is what college teams play every weekend, obviously a lot more at stake in this 3-game series. They've hit more home runs in this 3-game series than any other series all season. 10 home runs in 3 games against Georgia. I'm talking with Elliot Avent in batting practice before this Super Regional started, and he was marveling in some ways at the size of this ballpark and watching balls fly out. He met with the media right before we chatted with him, and he said, I sure am glad they didn't ask me what I think about this ballpark. I think there was some stress and anxiety about his guys pitching in this ballpark, but his hitters have used it to their advantage.
They have taken advantage of it. Yeah, we were here Thursday for the workouts, and the ball was just, I mean, the wind was howling out, and it seemed like every ball that got in the air went out. And look, when you're a pitcher out there shagging and every ball that goes in the air goes over the fence, it kind of gets in your head a little bit. Kind of change what you might do. Might throw a few more fastballs down in the zone, more sinking fastballs if you can.
Carter caught looking on the fastball from Derek Smith.
That's one thing about Derek Smith. You start looking for that slider, and he's heavy on that slider, but you set slider, he's got plenty of fastball to get it by you.
You know, I was thinking back to when Florida won the World Series. Their great pitching staff. That was 2017, right?
Right.
Brady Singer and Alex Faedo. Breaking ball in for a strike. They're able to just kind of, you get in the winner's bracket and you win and you get time off. You don't have to have an army of pitchers. Now, if you lose,
all bets are off. That's right. You stay in the winner's bracket, you're right. You can get by with just a handful of arms.
Nothing in two now.
I mean, it's.
But I'm thinking of it in relation to what NC State has. They don't have Singer and Faedo, but they've got this bullpen and these arms that are able to stretch and then bounce back a couple days later.
It's eerie similar to what they did in 21. If you remember, there was just about 3 guys in Coach Elliott's bullpen that he really trusted. Like, that was his high-value targets down there, and he ran those guys out. They were able to stay in the winner's bracket for a while, and he ran them out. So really, you know, all you need is a couple of good starters and 2 or 3 good bullpen arms. And if you got that, guys that are hot right now, that can carry you a long way.
Slider just missed.
Because obviously out in Omaha, I mean, it's a bigger ballpark. It's the biggest ballpark all these kids are going to play in this year. And we know when the wind blows in, you can hardly get it out of that ballpark. So it's going to favor the pitchers. Now, there are going to be days where the wind does get out a little bit. It becomes a little more hitter-friendly. But for the most part, and that's why, you know, you got to kind of dream on Kentucky a little bit because they do it a little bit different ways. You know, I mean, Kentucky's a little more small ball. They can hit some home runs, but they're going to bunt. They're going to steal bases. They're going to move the ball around. And a lot of these teams that hit a ton of home runs during the regular season, you get out to Omaha, and sometimes the balls don't fly like they do during the regular season.
Yeah, think about that Tennessee team from a few years ago. Went back to Omaha and being one of the top home run hitting teams in the country. That pitch is low and away by Fernando Gonzalez. He's a first base runner. Reach against Derek Smith. The Sunday Night Baseball matchup is a series finale between the Yankees and Red Sox. 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern. Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown. Trot Nixon played in a few of those Yankees-Red Sox games, and there's his son Luke playing in left field for the Pack.
Yeah.
The 2 Nixon boys on this NC State roster. Here's Clayton Chadwick. But to your point about Kentucky, they scored the winning run when Nolan McCarthy scrambled home from second base on a wild pitch. That's Vince Coleman-like to score from second on a wild pitch.
That's just how to win a ball game. I mean, knowing what you're doing, watching the defense as you're running.
It'll be the first ever trip to Omaha for Kentucky. No play at second and almost late at first, and somehow Smith's foot found the bag. Brock Bennett is the first base coach for Georgia. He thinks they should challenge. I think his foot was on top of the bag. What did you see?
Looked like it slid right over the top of it to me, like he got the top of it. It was kind of an odd play. I mean, Garrett Pennington right here. You're up 4 runs this late in the ball game. Don't even think about trying to get that lead out. Take the easy out over at first base. And I don't know, the foot was on the bag, but did it come off of the bag when he received the ball? So it's on there, but did it stay on when the ball got in the glove? I don't know about this one, Tommy.
Boy, that is really close.
And it got there. Foot's on there. The question is, when he receives the ball, does it stay on?
Ruled out on the field by Barry Chambers, the first base umpire. the chagrin of the home crowd, and Wes Johnson can't believe it.
I mean, maybe it wasn't enough to overturn it. It was that close.
This emphasis. Here's Colby Branch, the runner at second, and a first pitch strike. Branch is 1 for 3 in this one. "17 home runs in the 9-hole. Can't find the slider, 0-2.
Georgia 1 for 7 tonight, runners in scoring position. NC State 2 for 10.
Waves at another slider. That has been the kryptonite for this Georgia offense tonight, whether it was Duden or Smith. Another runner left on. 7 stranded in the last 5 for the Dogs.
All right, I'm Scott Van Pelt. We are getting set for SportsCenter. We'll bring you the top moments from this game, and there are a bunch of them. Kyle Peterson will join us to give us a first look at the World Series in Omaha. From the NBA, Adrian Wojnarowski joins us to discuss the reasons Dan Hurley decided to stay put and spurn the Lakers' offer, and also its Game 2 Stanley Cup Final. We'll have all those highlights on the way. Tom, Ben, back to you. They need some magic for the home squad.
Yeah, Dogs are struggling tonight, but Elliot Avent, what a story for NC State. He's telling us this might be his last year. Maybe next year's his last year. Who knows?
He kind of sitting on the fence, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he was brutally honest with us. He said, boys, sometimes I wake up and I think it's time to ride off into the sunset. And he said, other days when I get up, it's like, I can't wait to get to the ballpark.
Well, there's nothing like an Omaha sunset, is there?
I'm fixing to say, not a better place to watch the sunset of your career. That's going to be the case for Elliot Avent.
And his team is 3 defensive outs away from doing just that. Here's Brandon Butterworth to lead off the 9th. Rip to Condon, 1 down.
Hot corner. That was hot. Charlie Condon in the perfect spot. Bullet.
And Alex Sosa coming up. Sosa's got a 3-hit night going. NC State just launching balls in this postseason. They've hit 16 home runs in the NCAA tournament between the regional and super combined. It's tied with Florida State for the second most of any team in the field. Now Tennessee is 10 long balls ahead of both of them.
Yeah, Tennessee, to NC State's credit, Tennessee's played about, 6 or 7 more games than what NC State's have played on the year. And so,
no, this is just for the tournament. This is for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. I think Tennessee just in their regional alone hit 12 or 13.
Fly ball deep left field. Chadwick back onto the warning track, and 2 down now. How about Tony Vitello? You see his impassioned press conference last night. He didn't like the fact that one of his players was asked, if you guys lose, would this season be a failure?
Yeah. Then he went to define what success was, which I really liked his definition of success. Tony V gonna kind of tell you like it is. He's gonna tell you just what he's thinking.
Luke Nixon is 1 for 4. He's due up, and we're gonna have a chat with his head coach. Use an offensive timeout here.
You could read his lips. I want you to see a pitch. I couldn't tell what he said after that. The first thing he said was, I want you to see a pitch.
Halfway there.
Yeah. What we do know is he's not going to be swinging at the first pitch.
Elliot Avent wouldn't mind delaying his beach vacation by a couple of weeks. Pitch fastball low. from Brian Zeldin, 1-0. Here's a comp for you. Tennessee hit 14 home runs in the Super Region, right? Tennessee baseball team in 2013 hit 13 in the entire year. You think they found some power there at Lindsey Nelson Stadium? 2-1. The game has changed. That West Coast small ball is not the way to go right now.
Yeah, if you're playing West Coast small ball, you're going to get left behind in today's game.
That's why there's nobody from the West Coast going on.
Good point.
And for a strike, 2-2. Slider pulled foul. This NC State team is 3 outs away from sending a team to the men's Final Four, the women's Final Four, and the men's College World Series in the same academic year. They would light that bell tower red again.
To your point about home runs, from 2017 to 2021, so that's a 5-year span, there were 7 teams that hit 100 or more home runs. 2016 was the last time a team didn't hit 100 home runs. And this year alone, 31 teams hit over 100 home runs.
Swing and a miss, and it's a last chance for Georgia. They need 4 for a tie, 5 for a win. Top of the order coming up. Eli Serrano III has been a primetime performer for NC State tonight. The Wolfpack 3 outs away. He's our Capital One rewarding performance.
Yeah, how about Jacob Newton coming in right there? Bases loaded. And then he gets a strikeout. And how about that catch right there by Serrano? Right up against the wall. You talk about have a day on both sides of the ball. 3 hits, including a home run. That could have been a 3-run homer, and he reeled it in. And now NC State just 3 outs away from their 4th ever trip to Omaha.
Top of the order for Georgia. This is Corey Collins, who's reached in his last 2 plate appearances, was walked in the 7th and hit by a pitch in the 5th. One and one. Derek Smith is the second reliever used by State after Logan Whitaker gave him 4 1/3 in his start. Slider just off the plate. Jacob Duden followed with an inning and 2/3 before handing it off to Smith. And he's been efficient enough to try and stretch this thing and finish it off. And this ball's rocketed to right field, but right at Noah Souls. 1 down. And Charlie Condon coming up. Georgia likely will join UCLA and LSU as the only schools to have the #1 overall pick in football, men's basketball, and baseball in their school's history, should Condon go #1 to the Cleveland Guardians this summer.
And a good chance that he will.
Two and 0. Well, those late home runs giving NC State some more wiggle room where you can pitch around Condon.
Yeah, but this ain't where you want to be pitching around. And this time to throw it down the middle and see how far he can hit it. Up 4 with 1 out. And you just want to throw him right down the middle and just see what he can do with it. Because if you're Georgia, that's what you're hunting. You're hunting base runners. You need a lot of base runners and a couple of big blows.
Line drive right field, racing back Souls. It is gone! Condon's done it. His 37th home run to lead the nation, giving Georgia life here in the ninth.
And he did it too. How about a little backside action by Charlie Condon? 37th long ball of the year, his 78th RBI. Georgia pulls within 3.
They got out in a hurry, huh?
Yeah, I like that approach too, because you got to respect the slider from Derek Smith. You know it's coming, and that's a fastball, and that's what his idea was, is, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit late on that fastball, but I know I got enough to blow it out of the ballpark if he goes there, but I'll have some bat left for the slider.
And the first pitch in for a strike is Slade Alford. Cooper Consiglio getting loose in the NC State bullpen. One one. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Got away. With Derek Smith, how do you hit the reset button?
Sometimes you just got to back off the back of the mound for a second and hop back up. Because his breaking ball was really good, but he's not been able to find it here the last couple of batters. Command starting to waver a little bit. This was the formula for NC State in the regional final. Whitaker, Duden, and Smith.
Three-1 to Alford. Whitaker gave him 4 1/3. Duden gave him 1 2/3 tonight. The payoff low for ball 4.
Yeah, this is getting pretty interesting here.
Yep.
Derek Smith at 39 pitches. His season high before that, 33 pitches. All of a sudden, the command not quite as sharp as it was when he first came in.
Remember, they brought him in with Condon at second base in the 7th inning. They brought him in with 2 on and nobody out, and he was able to get out of that jam. But like that NASCAR comp, he might be out of gas.
He's running on fumes. He's kind of shaking it back and forth to keep a little bit in the fuel line.
Around.
Yeah.
NC State has not been a big double play team. They turned 39 of them on the season.
Yeah, and it's going to be really hard to turn one with the shift on like it is.
First pitch off the plate to Dylan Goldstein, 1-0.
Derek Smith's playing with fire right here. Goldstein got 12 pumps. Trey Phelps on the on-deck circle, he's got 12 of them. And he is just hoping to get a turn.
The 2-0 to Goldstein. High, 3-0. And he fits one in for a strike. Winner take all. The loser heads home for the summer. The winner heads to Omaha in the College World Series. A 3-1 pulled foul. Full count. Goldstein is 0 for 3 in this one. He drew a walk and scored his first time up back in the second. Got underneath it, popped it up a mile high to the right side. Hebner. 2 down. And now one of the hottest bats on the Georgia roster, Trey Phelps, gets a chance.
Yeah, Trey Phelps working a 3 for 4 days, including a 2-run home run in the second inning.
Home runs on the season for Phelps. And he swings at the first, sends it to center. Serrano is back. And NC State's headed back to Omaha. Elliott Avent's boys come on the road and take the Super Regional from Georgia. You can light the bell tower red again.
NC State, getting hot at the right time. Coming in here to Athens to a Super Regional. Win game 1, you get boat raced in game 2. And then you win game 3. And NC State heading to Omaha for the 4th time in program history. The 3rd time under head coach Elliott Avent.
And Ben, considering what was taken away from them the last time they went in 2021, for Elliott Avent to get one more crack at that brass ring is something special.
That just kind of feels right, doesn't it? 36th year of coaching. His 28th year. And boy, you feel for the Dogs, man. What a season it was for them. First year head coach Wes Johnson totally turned his program around. 43 wins on the season. And they put together a heck of a season, man. And I know how that feels. That is tough. You pour your heart, your soul, everything you got into it, and you're so close you can just taste Omaha.
The beauty of college baseball, there'll be guys in that losing dugout who go on to sign $1 million contracts, go maybe first overall in the draft, and there'll be other guys who'll never play again.
That's right. And that's college baseball. That's the way it is, you know. And Wes Johnson's going to build a juggernaut here. There's no doubt in my mind. Georgia's going to be a force in this baseball world with him here. But it wasn't their time. It's NC State's time. That's our final team. The final of 8 headed for Omaha.
NC State has won 18 of its last 23. And they will go into Omaha on a heater. Jacob Kozart will go over and celebrate with the NC State fans, and they got to pose for some pictures. And meanwhile, summer ball starts now for Georgia. Man, oh man, what a run for this NC State team.
Got to give it to them, man. They earned it. They flat out earned it.
Let Kozart be the leader. He's trying to get everybody lined up for the right picture. Get them in front of their fans over there. He's fighting a losing battle right now because there's a trophy on the field. I can't imagine the range of emotions that Elliott Avent has been through over the course of this Super Regional. They came out in game 1 and they absolutely blew out Georgia 18-1. In game 2, it was 11-2 the other way. And now they get the win here in game number 3, and Elliott Avent is kind enough to put on the headset and join us. Coach, I got to start with this one. The way that last trip to Omaha ended for you guys with heartbreak, how does that add meaning to this return trip for this squad?
Well, I'm sure the guys on that 21 team, I don't really believe in retribution or revenge, but I'm sure the guys on that 21 team might feel a little bit different. But this is a whole different team, and I'm happy for this ball club. They have been through so much, and they stuck with it, and they persevered. Probably, the Jimmy V legacy at NC State is not only real, it's a thing. And don't give up, don't ever give up is what every person from Trey Turner to every player who's played there lives by. And this club really lived by because we had so much going on during the season. And they brought Jimmy V's saying to life.
Well, he also said it's not a full day unless you laugh a little and you cry a little. And your old buddy's probably smiling down because I feel like you've been through that in your career.
I love that, man. There's so many people that had such a big influence in my life. My mom and daddy, first of all. But Jimmy V, Coach Esposito, Coach Tarantini, Bobby Guzzo, K-Al, those were people that had a Russ Frazier at junior college. Tony Guzzo, who gave me my first job, and Ray Tanner, who gave me my first job at NC State. So many people have had such an influence in my life, and I thank them all, and I love them all.
Coach, 36 years of coaching for you. We asked you the other day, are you still having fun? You said, yes, I am. But you were honest, and you said, listen, some days I wake up and I think about riding off into the sunset. But there's other days I wake up and I can't get to the ballpark. You were kind of sitting on the fence. What's this do for you now?
Yeah, it might delay that riding off in sunset just a little bit, but one day that horse is going to be there, and I'm going to get on that horse and ride away, but I don't think it's going to be today.
I don't know if it's a better place to ride off into the sunset in Omaha, Nebraska this time of the year. That's a pretty good place to see the sun go down for sure.
And Dan, Ben, you and Tom, you know how much y'all mean to me. Y'all been great the whole time here. I know y'all had that Pac-13 game in Omaha, which is one of the biggest, travesties or, things I've ever seen. So y'all call that game, and I'm sure I haven't talked to you about it much, but I'm sure that was a tough game or a strange game to call. But how nice y'all been and what y'all do for college baseball and how much I've enjoyed being around you two this week. It's been fun.
Elliot, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win. Can't wait to watch your team in Omaha.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, Coach.
He got one picture left to take before they leave Athens.
All right, bye-bye.
8-5 is the final here. Here's what the schedule looks like in Omaha. Friday, it'll start with North Carolina, Virginia, then Tennessee and Florida State. And NC State draws Kentucky in its first-round game on Saturday to get things started before the nightcap of Texas A&M and Florida. Buddy, I know you're going to have a blast in Omaha.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to Omaha. Always a perfect time of the year. So happy for NC State. Georgia had one heck of a year, and I'll tell you what, Wes Johnson is going to do wonderful things here, but we're off to Omaha.
ACC sets a record for teams headed to Omaha to be all ACC and all SEC. For Ben McDonald, our fantastic crew here in Athens, Georgia, I'm Tom Hart. So long. Time now for SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt.
How about the sports year for NC State, huh? Final four and a trip to Omaha. Thank you, Tom. As you just laid out, the field is set. NC State joins 3 other ACC squads and 4 from the SEC. Kyle Peterson standing by to preview the College World Series in a moment. But first, best thing I saw today, let's run back what we just saw in Athens. Trey Phelps hates buttons. If I was as fit as that young man, I wouldn't button my shirt either, especially if I had the kind of muscles that let me power it like that. His 12th of the season and the bottom of the second. His 8th since the beginning of May. Hunker down, you hairy dogs. They're up 2-0, but NC State, they're battling. Garrett Pennington, that's into the trees somewhere. Knotted up at 2. Top 4. Same score, runners on second and third. Colton Smith uncorks a wild one. Pack. Race home, that's Matt Hebner. Sliding across, it's 3-2 State. Alec Makarevich serves one the other way. NC State's won the last 12 NCAA tournament games when they've led by multiple runs, which is a remarkable statistic in a sport where a 2-run lead doesn't mean anything, Steve.
Nope.
Georgia head coach Wes Johnson giving his squad a little pep talk. Charlie Condon, presumptive #1 pick, strikes out swinging with the bases loaded. That was a huge spot there. And Slate Alford, again, bases are loaded. That's a 3-2 pitch. NC State wiggles off the hook. The Dogs missed a big chance there. Bottom 6, Fernando Gonzalez. Deep, Noah Souls. Rayson makes a good grab. It's a sac fly. Have a look at that grab. It's Georgia one closer, 5-3. Bottom 7, 6-3. Nobody out. And that's Slate Alford. That's deep. Eli Serrano III ranging back. Makes a big-time grab. Don't know if that would have tied the game, but it certainly would have been extra bases. Still 6-3. Goodbye, Makarevich. Insurance runs are gold in the 8th inning. That's a 2-run tank. State's up 8-4. I mentioned Condon. 36 home runs on the year. Gets a 3-1 fastball. And that's 37. And that's out in a hurry. Nice catch, front row. It's 8-5. 2 away. And Phelps, who had that earlier homer, gets a good piece of it, but not nearly enough. And NC State adding to what's been a heck of a sports spring. Final Four trip, and now a trip to Omaha. And here's what the matchups look like, and you see the teams that they defeated. It's half and half, SEC, ACC. Tennessee takes on Florida State, Virginia and Go-Go Carolina, Kentucky and NC State. As Kentucky, the last SEC team to make it to Omaha, and they did as they knocked off Oregon State. And Florida, who had that memorable win over Clemson on Sunday, they take on Texas A&M, and it all gets underway from Omaha with games on Friday and Saturday. Kyle Peterson will be joining us in a bit to give us his thoughts on what we've got coming our way in Omaha. Lots of Jell-O shots, that much we know.